This edition of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Squarespace. Hey everybody, a dream is just a great idea that doesn't have a website yet. It's true. 100% true. And you can make that dream a reality with Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to turn your idea into a unique website. That's right. You can showcase your work. What do you got? You got work? You got that work? You got that blog? You publish content? What are you trying to sell products and services? In just a few clicks, you can do all of that. With 24/7 award-winning customer support, you can customize all of it, look and feel, settings and products. They've got beautiful templates that have been created by world-class designers. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. You can head over to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Hey, it's Tuesday. It's May the 15th. It's 2018. It's the middle of the month. Why do you look so perplexed?
We're just waiting. It seems like you're going somewhere.
It's Giant Bombcast.
It dawned on Will. It's like, oh, it is.
I'm not allowed to talk until you introduce
Hi,
me.
Will Smith.
Hi, Brad
Hey, how's it
Shoemaker.
going? Thanks for being here.
It's good to be here.
It's
Thanks for having me.
yeah, it's halfway through May, which means we're like 3 weeks out from E3.
So when you asked me to do this, I didn't realize that today was my birthday, but I was like, what
Wait,
better?
what?
Yeah, it's my
Wait.
birthday.
Wow.
Happy.
No,
See, we did know it was your birthday. All right,
sing.
reveal
I like-
the
yeah, I
cake.
I
Bring
like
in
how
the
you,
cake and
you
the
waited to
clowns.
drop that until we were in
I
public.
figured, drop the bomb here.
mentioned that.
Well,
Happy
the thing
birthday.
is, nobody uses Facebook anymore,
That's true.
so nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like we're back into
Huh.
the pre-Facebook no birthday days, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I figured chat would say something. I didn't want to be weird, and I realized I probably should have said something before we started.
Wait, you assumed chat would know your birthday?
Yeah, they know.
Yeah?
Norm said something this morning, I think.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. It's out there.
There's
It's
still
out there.
Twitter.
The word is on the street.
Happy birthday. We got you a podcast.
Thanks. Thanks.
That you are responsible for helping us make.
Yeah.
Oh.
Work for your birthday.
Oh.
Thank you for being here.
I'm excited to be here.
It's like
yeah.
when you get somebody a puzzle for your for
Yeah,
their birthday. It's
right.
like, here, I got you this thing that you have to do.
You now have to spend
Yeah.
6 hours assembling your present.
Well, I like coming in like the week that Jeff goes to work. The 1 week a year that Jeff goes to work. That came out the wrong way, but yeah, like I like to come in and see how you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Check
We're
in.
holding it down in here.
Yeah.
Jeff is in Los Angeles doing pre-E3 things.
Yeah. He's judging.
You're here.
Yeah.
Jason's out on vacation.
Yeah.
Matt Rory swooped in,
Hi, I'm here.
hot off of Giant Bomb Premium sale action.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Got some hot deals?
Hey, if you're seeing this on YouTube.com, we have a sale going on right now. It's a $35 for a year, or you can try Giant Bomb Premium free trials at any time for 10 days, free, utterly free.
How much longer do they have for?
This is going
Are
to
we
go on for another
saying-
week
Okay.
from tomorrow, so the 23rd, I think is the last day.
Yeah.
Please email me at support@giantbomb.com if you have any issues with your subscription.
Fastest. I hear you're the fastest support response in the West.
I've been a little slow this weekend because we
That's
had
okay.
we had a friend over Friday night, the house guest, and then we had Mother's Day. Go over to my girlfriend's grandmother's house. Get there, she's not nowhere to be found. Blood on the floor.
Oh no.
Grandma fell down. She had to go to the hospital. They're getting CAT scans, and she's gonna be back later on. So we're like, oh shit,
boy.
okay, is she okay? Because she's an older lady.
Yeah.
I guess support emails can wait. Then.
So that was a little bit of a frightening thing, but
yeah. Wow.
yeah. So I've been doing a bunch of that. I think I'm about a day behind at this point on support emails. That means that there's like 50 or so to go. But I hopefully after we get done here, I'll knock them all out and
Cool.
So
move on with promoting our wonderful premium content sale. We're gonna be unlocking some videos on YouTube. If you're watching this on the YouTube archive, we're gonna be unlocking some premium stuff that we've done in the last year or so over the rest of the week, and hopefully you'll check us out.
do you have to have premium to get the Giant Bomb Infinite? Is that a thing that you have
At
to be a
the
premium
moment,
user
yes,
to get?
to vote on Giant Bomb
Oh.
Infinite. We've had a lot of interesting technical issues with Infinite lately. If you're not aware, giantbomb.com/infinite is a 24/7 looping video of all the videos from Giant Bomb history.
Thousands of them.
Thousands. You can vote on which ones
Thousands.
you want to see. Will, our engineer, Will Carl, did an amazing job. He just kind of threw it together in one of those weird Yeah,
Like
I
it's
feel
like
like
a-
it'd be fun to do.
It's like a Black Ops project.
I
I
could do
think
this.
Jeff mentioned it in a meeting like a year or two ago.
We-
Like this would be cool. This is a good idea.
Dude, we talked about it in the basement. At
the
one
discussions,
point. Like it was a
discussions
thing.
happened
Yes.
at a different company.
Yeah, it's neat because every time I'm on one of those videos, like 30 people tweet me and let me know, hey, you're on Giant Bomb TV.
I don't
You
get
should go
that.
check it out.
Nobody ever tweets me.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of stopped tweeting a while ago. So.
probably
Yeah,
good
speaking of
policy.
not
helps.
using social media.
Yeah.
But
kinda
yeah,
nice.
so you do currently have to be pre-reviewed on the site and vote and everything like that. It's we had to switch to Twitch recently because YouTube kept shutting the channel down. Had some complaints about that because we can't currently adjust it from 720p, which means some mobile people are having a hard time with it. But hopefully that this week we'll get to the point where we get partner or YouTube, Twitch partner.
Yeah,
where
you got to
can
be a
actually
partner.
Let people do it. But
Get
our,
some emojis.
our viewing time is
yeah.
going up by 500 people an hour, so 500 hours per hour because there's so many people in there. So
Yeah.
hopefully pretty soon we'll be able to adjust that. And
That's
Twitch,
good.
Twitch I don't think is a long-term permanent. We're going to look into the best solution, but YouTube was really being
Not
dicks
great.
about it. So.
Okay.
Thanks,
That's
YouTube.
updates on Giant Bomb Infinite. How are you
Alright.
guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prep
Pretty
for
swell.
E3.
Now I'm going to go.
You guys feel
Bye.
ready? You got it? You're good to go? Like you got everything? Everything's running on the truck?
Yeah.
You got a truck?
No.
Oh.
What would you guys recommend? Because I'm putting a spreadsheet together for stuff to buy for the green room because
Ooh.
a certain somebody who's not here will go through about 100 Rockstar lemonades
Yeah.
a day. One of the people.
Is it
and
Dan?
it's Jason. Jason drinks a bunch of Rockstar lemonades. So I'm gonna buy all that stuff here and get it shipped down on the truck. And I need some suggestions as to what else to get. Beef jerky, I know.
I like bars with protein.
Yes, NutriBars.
Yeah.
Nutrisystems.
Your Builder's bar, your Nutra-bar, your
Yeah.
RX bar, your
Don't those all
Kind
taste
bar.
kind of shitty?
The Builder's bars taste like candy bars, kind of.
What about like some scotch?
The alcohol part will be part of it too.
Okay.
I always wind up having to be. But what I found over the last couple of years is that beer is way more popular than hard liquor. So it'll probably be more beer.
Doesn't our hotel get their?
They
can't-
give us we have a minimum amount that we have to buy through the hotel, and it's usually it's like
$1
hey, a
million.
$9 Bud Light can.
Oh, because could we bring in our own after that minimum?
We're going to.
It
We
seems like
have.
it might be
Let's move
frowned
on.
upon.
Let's
Yeah.
move on.
If you're listening,
Yeah, E3 stuff is happening apace.
there's a lot of
Meetings getting booked, guests getting
Stuff starting to leak.
lined up.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
big leaks.
That
Should we just talk about news
yeah,
first?
How about that?
We should talk about news
Sure.
first. Let's talk
Flipping the
about.
script.
I just made an executive
It's
decision.
all
Man.
a house built on
Jan,
lies.
Jan is on it down there,
There are some news.
He smelled,
Furiously clicking button.
he
ready.
smelled the news coming.
ready
Yeah.
with the
You smell what the news has
music.
cooking.
It's
I mean, there's
yes, it's bad.
News.
there's definitely games to talk about this week, but I feel like the E3 leaks are starting to supersede that. So let's get into that first.
Thanks, Walmart Canada.
Yeah, I've got that image right here in
Woo.
front of me.
It's a lot of games.
People screen capped this Walmart Canada product listing full of games from E3.
What was it
potentially.
from? Was it from like an email or from like a behind the scenes?
I think it was on the website.
I feel like the cover art is really lacking in this year's E3 crop. It's
Yeah.
like there's just no imagination being shown. It's all
Really-
black.
It's weird. They're all
backgrounds.
going for the same theme. It's,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things with Deep Impact, Armageddon, kind of people get the same
Yeah.
idea at the same time. And
The thing that made me suspicious about it was that it was so many different publishers and so many different things going up at the same time. And I'm sure Walmart would get some, but Walmart's not going to sell anything right at E3 unless it's right away.
Well,
don't
I mean,
know
they're going to start
Walmart.
pre-orders
Yeah,
the
take
day
pre-orders.
of. Yeah.
Speaking
Just
of
like everything
this,
else.
it reminds me. Those box arts remind me of. Have you ever seen that brand of products called? I think it's called No Name in Canada.
oh yeah,
Oh.
it reminds me of Repo Man.
All of their packaging is literally just a flat yellow label with lowercase the word that it is.
Dystopian product.
Here is a jar of
Yeah.
mayonnaise that is just a yellow label that says mayonnaise on it.
What's it called? Orange drink.
This one says grape jelly. That one says instant coffee. It's pretty good branding. Cola. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Cola's a pretty
Interesting.
wide encompassing term though. So
All right,
You get
Brad.
your
What
Royal
are
Crown? You get your Shasta.
all the games coming out
Oh
at
man.
E3?
Okay, let me just
Yeah,
pull this image
below.
back up.
Hold on, I didn't want spoilers.
So yeah, they listed. God, there must be
Cover your ears.
There must be 40 games on this image.
some of those seemed way
There's
more
doubles,
far-fetched
'cause it's-
than others.
A lot of, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of them are super predictable. A lot of them are already announced.
Guys, there's going to be a Call of Duty this
A
year.
few of them are. already
What?
announced.
I know. Stand back.
Let me
I can't
rattle
wait
off.
to play the campaign.
Let's see.
COD Blops 4.
They've got Splinter Cell on here, which maybe
Ben,
not.
I have bad news for you
What's that?
about the campaign.
Yeah, no, wait. It's gonna be World War III or something. What are they gonna do?
Two.
Like, okay,
Two?
No.
Maybe was that last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
Oh,
So they got to do
4.
it.
It's gonna be World War IV then this year.
Yeah.
It's rocks.
Maybe it's a
Rocks
good,
and
maybe it's a
stones.
good thing they don't
All right.
have a campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a Splinter Cell on here, which is maybe not super surprising with the
I'm stoked about
Wildlands
that.
business going on.
Okay. I didn't get any further in that Wildlands stuff than what we did on that stream because I was so annoyed by
You
it.
have to level a lot to play the special stuff.
I
generally.
Well, I want to go. Maybe on UPF we'll watch the actual cutscene at the end of it because I hear it's dumb as hell. So
Sure. That could be cool.
More Splinter. Like I'd love to open world Splinter Cell.
Yeah,
sounds
I
A-okay by
specifically
me.
hope that they find a cool, stealthy open world kind
And
of.
they
I'll
got
climb some towers.
Ironside back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in the studio. Just Cause 4 is on this list.
That's probably
I'm a little suspicious of that now.
yeah. I'm
I'm
cautiously
not.
excited.
I'm not. And
They have
I'll,
2
I'll
teams?
explain why.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
Well, I know 3 was not well received. But
Okay,
did it
actually,
do
you know,
okay.
This is the
commercially?
3 team, right?
Let me.
I thought 3 was
probably.
okay. It was
Well,
just
horribly
you know.
buggy from what I heard.
Okay, let me cut to the chase. So
All right.
when this posted, a bunch of people were like, those sound like placeholders. Those are all generic sequels. This can't be real. Largely because a game called Rage 2 was on this list.
yeah.
Bethesda then, I guess, shifted into damage control mode and announced Rage 2.
Yeah. Started
So-
tweeting out like screenshots.
like the
and-
same day or
Pick
the day after.
File
and,
paths.
and as of today, we have a gameplay trailer for Rage
We
2.
we also should talk about that.
So
launch
we
trailer.
will for sure.
Okay.
But like that definitely lends a lot more veracity to this list.
Yes. If
'cause
you can call Rage 2, then
like looking at these games, of all the games on this list, Rage 2 is the most improbable one here,
Yeah.
and that turned out to be real. So this could very likely be.
Breed 2 is next year, right?
Yes.
and then
But
Spore
some of
2
these
the
games
year
are-
after that.
yeah.
Like the one that
Score
also was the
harder.
weird one was the Final Fantasy VII remake, which I've
Yeah.
always heard is way.
That sounds like that's
far
way
down the
off.
line.
So I mean, some of these could be placeholder, some of these could be like for
Speculative.
a next year game or something. Who knows?
Well,
But,
it could also be a list where like somebody in the sales department was like, hey, we need a list of all the games coming out of E3, and the person handed them a list of stuff that they knew was coming and stuff that they were like, maybe this is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's easy, it's
possible,
better
yeah.
if we have this done
Yeah.
and can
Yeah.
put it up if it comes.
this was
like-
this was very clearly never meant to see the light of day. So
It's like pre-written obituaries in the New York Times.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
But Rage 2 was not one of those games. There was nobody
Yeah.
at the offices of Walmart Canada saying, I think there's going to be a Rage 2.
Time.
This
in
is the
case.
year.
Time, yeah.
This is the year.
Just in case.
Was that 2011 that came out? It was when it was the same
think
year as
that's right.
Borderlands 1,
I
right?
think it's 2011. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see other stuff on here. There's a game called Insurgency Sandstorm, which could be anything.
Okay. I hope it's
No idea.
I hope it's like Spec Ops The Line.
Okay.
That would be
I would
great.
take that.
I would
Get
put
behind
more
that.
Spec Ops The Line.
Yeah.
There's an Assassin's Creed listed on here, which is kind of disappointing to me because I was hoping that was going to become a 2-year
Well,
franchise.
but it could be like one of the Shanghai studios or something
guess
like
so.
that. Because they've done
They're
there's
just like
so
they-
many
they just-
Assassin's Creeds.
They just like they came back to form so well with Origins. That
Well,
it seemed
maybe-
like having that 2 years to breathe was really beneficial.
Maybe
to
this
that
is like
series.
an Origins 2 kind
Yeah.
of situation like they did with 2.
Maybe like a two to
Oh,
brother,
yeah.
two to brotherhood
same
kind
world.
of thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. I feel like Bayek is a strong character.
Yeah.
Like that game has a good progression. Like,
Sure.
I thought that was a good cadence. Like that makes sense to reuse those assets in
Yeah,
a
I guess I
smart
could
way and
see
tell new
that.
stories in those worlds.
Yeah.
What's the rumor though? Feudal Japan or something? I always heard the next, or it's going to be like
Assassins?
ancient
I
Greece
feel
or
like
something.
that's been. I feel like feudal Japan has been the rumor
Well,
for the
who's
last
the-
4.
I still need to play Origins, but
I
who's
think
the-
ancient
who are
Greece
the
was,
antagonists? I mean, aren't there like Romans? Or
Yeah, there are
like,
Romans.
could maybe same character shifted to?
Oh
like,
yeah,
more
he's
of a
taking the
Roman-
fight because that
more of a Roman.
not to
setting?
get into the specifics of the end, but they do kind of set up a larger war. 'Cause,
Yeah. That
well,
could
it's
be
the
Could have to
origins.
fight off the Roman
could be
invasion
okay.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the direction they go, that could be okay. Let's see.
I found Velcro.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
People love it when you play with that.
Yeah.
Forza Horizons 5 is on this list, which I'm going to assume is a mistake. Probably
Wow, how many Horizons have there been?
3.
Okay.
So let's
I
assume.
mean, maybe 4 is
Five-
a bad number in some
5
cultures.
sounds better than 4.
it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I like me a good even number
Yeah.
any day of the week, but 5 is such a strong
How many
number.
fingers do you have, Ben?
5.
Yeah.
Well, no, are you trying to trick me?
On each
I've got
hand.
4. Not 8?
Never mind. This is
8 and
Yeah.
2 thumbs?
Five is a power number.
Ben and I should not be allowed to make eye contact.
Speaking of 5, there's a Gears of War 5 on here.
Okay.
Okay.
Which sure that would be 2 years since the last one if
gonna
that
be
came
a-
out this year.
Bandana? What's the bandana? Like that's
know.
really what makes or breaks Gears for me at this point.
I was talking about these with Jeff, and he brought up the fact that they were on a pretty good cadence of like Halo Gears alternating, and now there's just Gears 4, and then Halo 5 was before Gears 4,
Yeah,
right?
it's been a
And so
while.
now
It's
there's going to
been-
be 2 Gears in a row without a Halo.
Yeah, it's gonna. If this is accurate, it's been a while since a Halo.
Well, they released Halo Wars 2.
Dan, can we get a cadence count going up on the screen if you don't mind? Just cadence. Every time we say cadence, we gotta add one.
Done.
Cadence.
Oh, I totally forgot what I was going to say about that.
Something about Halo Wars 2.
Cadence.
Oh, specifically, I was going to say that Halo 5 ended on like a huge cliffhanger. So, like, they're due to wrap up what's going on in Halo.
To finish the fight.
Yes, finish this other fight.
You think
second-
they're gonna go trilogy mode for the rest of Halo's like
I
existence?
don't know
Like,
what they do after. Like, they're kind of setting everything up to be sort of the end of the Master Chief arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
I mean,
6.
they've done that before. We did that last time.
Yeah, you would have thought.
We finished the fight.
And then they found a way.
I drove across that giant hexagon planet, and all the pieces were falling out, and there were skulls, and we won.
I mean, it seems
Yay.
like the character stuff they're doing with him and Cortana seems like that's going to be. But anyway, I don't know. There's no Halo on this list, so maybe that's not.
I wish they'd do more stuff like Reach and like ODST
Yeah.
and tell other
Yeah.
stories. Like, it's a
Yeah.
good universe. Tell more stories there.
Can I play Halo 5 on PC? Is that possible?
No.
Okay, so that was before they announced
Sorry.
their whole like.
There was
everything.
some side stuff that came out.
The,
of it.
Yeah,
the,
the Forge
Forge
thing.
was
Before
out.
those
Yeah.
items, the Forge, but not the full game.
I bet that will happen right before Halo 6 comes out.
Oh, sure.
Oh, there was also that the HD. I thought that the HD collection.
Oh yeah,
came
the
out on
Master
PC.
Chief Collection
Okay.
is still a going concern.
But that's not on PC.
No,
Yeah.
but it could be.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with their Game Pass stuff if they were
Yeah.
as another selling point to it. Like, hey, now you can play the
Yeah,
Halos. on there.
maybe they start going back and adding some older games to
Because
that stuff.
as somebody who mostly has a Game Pass and mostly
Which is
plays
on
on PC, there's like 10 games there, maybe, I think, for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, Rage 2. Oh, Borderlands 3 is also on this list.
I'm
But
excited.
then-
Yeah.
How do you tell the difference? Hey,
Har,
hey,
har.
sorry.
but actually, there was a headline just going around this morning that Gearbox has come out and said no Borderlands 3 at E3.
Oh.
So
Honestly, not to wrap around, but
kinda
that
surprising.
Rage 2 announced trailer,
Okay, so
I
there are
hate
two.
the-
We need to be specified.
Yeah,
here,
I haven't
because
seen
there
it
were
yet.
2 trailers.
I did not watch the first one. I watched the one with the gameplay.
Oh, you're the luckiest man of us here. I personally found that launch trailer to be super cringy.
Dude, that thing was amazing. Come on,
cringy and
it was
and-
ridiculous.
Man, I'm gonna watch it at the break.
I don't mean to be super. It was just kind of obviously they're trying
first-
to make a Borderlands.
The first, it's more ridiculous than that. I think the first teaser trailer is like got an Andrew WK song in it, and it's
Okay.
just a bunch of live action footage of like buff model looking pretty people in a wasteland. There's a lady with like a pink mohawk who gives you the two like double birds with shotgun shells.
Okay.
and if you
there's-
think that's super funny, you're gonna love
like,
that.
but
trailer.
it's dumb.
That
I don't
sounds-
think it's
that
I
sounds
don't
like
think
the
it's
right
funny.
tone.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's funny. I think it's ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, I can
I think
appreciate
it's
something
funny
being
because
over the
it's
top.
bad. Yeah, totally. It's like it's super campy in a bad way that I thought was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that made me excited about Rage, the first Rage, when they first announced it and started talking about it, is it looked like a ludicrous post-apocalyptic dystopia.
Yeah, but it took itself too seriously.
and then the game was way too serious.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and was kind of tedious.
This
too,
looks like it
They might have
knows
set the
that
scales
it's
a
this
little
this looks
too
like
far
it,
the other
it
way.
knows that it's stupid.
yeah, like
Is basically what I'm saying.
What was the thing called? The Wing Blade?
yeah, the
Wasn't that the
boomerang,
whole selling point of it?
Three pronged
Yeah.
boomerang.
Anyway, they put out a gameplay trailer,
Yeah,
and that thing is
that
totally
thing-
in there, and
that
that,
looks
that
great.
game looks pretty good.
yeah.
Like if they hit that with the same amount of camp that like they landed the 2016 Doom, I'm totally.
Yeah, it looks
I'm totally
campy
down.
as fuck.
Yeah.
and
That's
that's
cute. Was 2016 Doom really campy? It was over the top, but I
it's
would
definitely
say.
over the top. I don't know about.
If you think about like the characters, the caricature of I can't remember the woman's name, but the woman villain and the robot Hayden and all that stuff. Like those performances were, I would say, those were campy performances.
see
The bad guy's name is Satan.
Yeah.
Like, basically,
I guess I can see it. Sure.
Like you can like a lot of times in those games, I feel like they're a mirror and they reflect what you want to see back, right? What you're looking for.
I suppose.
Also, I don't think we mentioned that Rage 2 is made by Avalanche,
The
Yeah.
people who
the
made
makers
Just Cause.
of Just Cause. Yeah.
All of
Mad
them?
Max,
And,
right?
Yeah.
So
What I was hearing was that originally Rage 2 was in development after Rage came out, and Rage 2 became kind of Doom 2016.
Or, like, got
that was
canceled
kind of,
or something?
kind
Yeah.
of got shuffled around. So I wonder how long this has been in. But that
I
gameplay
don't know.
trailer was, I'm not going to belabor the point, I was not a fan of the launch trailer with the actors. But the gameplay trailer, it was kind of more, there's not a huge amount of actual gameplay. It's more like, here's the little world kind of thing. And it looks
chunks,
really,
yeah.
really well done.
yeah, looks super nice.
Is that
Combat
going to be
looks ridiculous?
Is that still id Tech engine stuff?
The
I
id
forget.
logo is on that trailer. I don't know. They haven't said what the engine is.
I saw people at Epic tweeting about it this morning. I don't know if that means anything.
I cannot. There's no way they're making that on.
I wouldn't think so,
Unreal.
but who knows?
No, it just means a
Stranger
battle royale
Things.
mode is coming to
I mean,
it.
they've got their Just Cause engine, and then Bethesda has id Tech. I feel like it's got to be one of those.
We
right?
all kind of. I mean, I was around. Yeah, I was around when Rage came out. I think I wasn't at Giant Bomb, but I
Rage, yeah.
enjoyed Rage well enough. I mean, the texture pop-in was atrocious.
Yeah, it had
on
issues.
consoles,
I mean,
but
it was a
for the most part, that was a pretty fun game.
Yeah,
I
fun
hated
shoot
it.
stuff.
shooting was really good.
Hated Rage.
The shooting was really good, and the open world was not used especially. well.
Everything
That
was
was the
just so
problem.
brown and
Well, yeah, it's that's the thing.
boring.
It took
and
itself way too serious.
And,
Yeah.
Well, and
But-
compared to
but it was
Borderlands,
fun.
which came out around the same time, like Borderlands was it was
a cartoon.
empty, but it was pretty vibrant,
Yeah.
and like the guns made it something completely new that we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Plus,
Plus, I lost 3 hours of progress the first time I played Rage, so fuck that game.
Manual saves, buddy. So you gotta do.
I have an email here I'm going to read.
Go for it.
oh my
'cause
God,
I
what
find it-
what
I
is
know,
even
man,
happening?
Just all over the place here. Oh my God! Wow,
pro
man,
pro Jan.
just being
I wasn't
ushered,
ready.
in here
Emails.
because it's relevant to this news story. Chris from Tampa. It really fell out of nowhere when stuff started leaking out about a Rage sequel, a game that seemingly no one was asking for. But gears started clicking for me after watching the announcement trailer. Could Rage 2 actually have been Mad Max 2, but then the George Miller lawsuit happened, and then Warner Brothers pulled all in-production Mad Max projects? That would have left Avalanche with a lot of assets looking for a new home, and Bethesda could have been like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, want to work on our IP. I don't know, just something I was thinking about watching the trailer.
Oh, what's the George Miller lawsuit?
I looked it
know
up.
about
Like
that.
Warner Brothers is screwing George Miller's production company out of a big bonus.
It was because he said he was under budget, but they said he was like $80 million over or something.
he's owed like $9 million if he brought the movie in under budget, and then Warner came back and said, no, you were actually $30 million over.
So the old Harry
Anyway.
Potter.
The old marketing.
Anyway,
costs.
this is totally legit. Like Warner Brothers did like put any Mad Max projects on ice in light of this lawsuit.
That's not the craziest theory I've heard.
Like
That's-
that Avalanche
Yeah.
studio made that Mad Max game from like 3 years
And
ago.
some people really enjoyed that game. Like
Yeah.
that had a lot of
I
potential.
think
So
Alex liked it. Even
yeah. So the idea that they would make another one isn't too
Yeah,
far fetched.
they could have been like in preliminary production on that, and then
Are they making
shifted
more of
to
those
Rage
movies?
2.
Have
Well,
they-
probably not.
I mean,
if
I think
there's a
there was
lawsuit,
talk.
but-
There was talk of more, but this legal battle.
Angry
apparently-
Aaron.
Apparently,
All of a
has-
I mean, it took him 30 years to make that 20 years to make that last one. So
I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of decades left, though. He's in his 70s. I
when
hope,
you say that,
hopefully, something will happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. It wouldn't change much about the final product, but that could be.
So Rage was an IP that was based on love of Mad Max.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
And then Mad Max made a new movie and started doing well, so they commissioned new games.
Mhm.
And then they had a fuss with George Miller, who owns Mad Max, and they stopped the new games, and they took the franchise back to the place where it was originally a ripoff of the franchise that it's replacing.
Yes.
All in theory.
Maybe.
I've just gone cross-eyed.
That's just it's all informed speculation.
This all makes me just want a Waterworld game.
Is Avalanche an
boy.
exclusive or Avalanche a
that'd be
independent
great.
studio? They're not owned by
Yes,
anybody?
yes.
It's like
So my understanding is this is
100
the
jet skis.
Just recycling your own piss.
Yeah.
100 jet skis.
Yeah.
this would be the original studio in Sweden doing Rage 2, but then they have the New York studio. They started to make Just Cause 3, so that they could still be making a Just Cause 4 if this leak is accurate.
Never played 3. I just had
3 was okay.
I
was
heard
okay.
so
It
much
was
fine.
It was
Well,
okay.
It was a
Out
little
of the-
Far Cry.
out of the gate.
Yeah.
There was so much negative word about it that
It was kind of underwhelming after 2.
Yeah.
Because 2 was incredible.
How many of these games are going to have Battle Royale? Like Rage Battle Royale?
Oh my God,
that sounds
man.
okay.
Oh.
I've seen all of them.
Yeah, Just Cause Battle
So
Royale.
don't
that
know,
sounds
the thing
okay.
is, it's a
Madden 2018 Battle Royale.
Hell yeah.
I think
100
that
linebackers.
I think Battle Royale as a mode is fine. Like plenty of
Yeah.
these major games that are going to have multiplayer anyway or wouldn't have multiplayer otherwise can use this mode where it's persistent, when you die, you're out, whatever. Like it's proved itself to be a fun gameplay mode. Like if your shooting is good, like in PUBG, or if your building is fun, like in Fortnite, you can totally capitalize on it. But the problem I think that's going to happen is the games that build themselves around the Battle Royale and make that like the centerpiece.
Like if there's a special mode in Red Dead that you can play Battle Royale sometimes, I would totally play Battle Royale in Red
Yeah.
Dead. But they're not going to get user base to do that
Exactly.
a million times a day.
You can't be like, this is going to be the Battle Royale game to take on all Battle Royale games. No, those already exist, and it's PUBG and Fortnite.
It's like the Quake diaspora that happened. Like
Yeah.
in 1994, all
Yes.
we played was Quake.
Quake came out in 96, man. Get it right.
Quake came out in 90. No,
Doom came out in 93.
Ooh.
Quake came out.
Doom 2 came out in
Did
94.
Quake not come out in 94?
Yeah,
really?
Quake was 96.
96. Wow.
Yeah.
Played a lot of Doom and Duke
But
Nukem.
I am assailing your
Yeah.
bona fides here.
So
That's fine.
Quake
It's all-
Quake
it's a
1
long
came
time
out
ago.
in 96?
Quake
Okay.
World came out in 96 is I think what
No,
you're
they-
thinking.
That's
Both
the
did.
same.
Really?
If only there was some way to know this.
Oh, fact checking ruining podcasts.
Because I remember playing Quake
June,
3.
June 22nd, 1996.
Shit.
When did Quake 3 come out? Because I was playing Quake 3 in my dorm. And
99, yeah, so
Wow.
was I.
damn.
I was playing Quake 3 in my first job.
I never played Quake 3.
Quake
That's
3
pretty good.
is
Well, I know
the
you got
second,
a UPF this week.
it's the second best Quake.
Yes.
Behind Quake 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I played Quake 1.
Quake 1's very good.
Oh, sorry,
Speaking-
Quake Champions, actually.
They're adding some weird GIB stuff to
Quake Wars.
You mean Jibs?
Champions.
Quake
Quake
Wars,
Gibs.
anybody?
They're letting the whole bodies deplode.
Oh,
Explode. You see the trailer for that? It looks great.
can't wait to see some deplosions.
Yeah.
It's Quake 1 that there's like 4 times as many jibs inside the bodies as the size of the body would contain.
Are you sure you're
It's
not
like
thinking
Mortal
of
Kombat when extra
yeah.
rib cages come
Mortal
out.
Kombat has
and
definitely extra rib cages,
Yeah.
yeah.
3 stomachs.
High bone density in those characters.
What else we got on the leak list? Here?
Those are
it?
those are pretty much the big unannounced ones. I mean, Metroid Prime 4 is on here, but that's announced.
What about
BG&D 2, Dreams?
Huh.
Dreams.
I pretty much read off
I
all
remember
the
that.
all the
Is that
unannounced stuff.
is that a colon Dreams?
No,
BG&E
it's just Dreams.
There's a game just called
Dreams
Dreams.
Yeah.
is that Media Molecule
the follow up to Little Big Planet, the
Kind
thing
of
that they showed at
weird
the PS4 launch, right?
creation
Mhm.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Besides
Um,
Blunky 2's not on there.
If that list turns out to be pretty accurate, that is a hefty single leak. Like in
Yes,
terms
for
of
sure.
all time
Yeah.
big leak lists.
That's
that
a
is,
pretty big leak,
yeah.
yeah. I wonder what the plans were to announce Rage 2 before that leak happened.
They were going to get Mr. Rage to come up on the stage, and
Again,
you
it's just weird for that many publishers and that many developers to be involved in one big thing. I get Walmart's the biggest game retailer in the North American continent, but for them to be that blasé about network security, especially all things all at once, that's really weird.
I always wonder if somebody gets fired over something this big.
It might have been intentional. Who knows?
Somebody's
hey
just
guys,
like, I hate
Walmart
this
sells
job.
games.
I hate this job. I'm going to just, it's my last week. I'm going to ruin E3.
I'm going to turn off President Trump's
Yeah,
Twitter
I'm gonna delete
account.
this Twitter account. I guess Sony maybe looked at all this happening and just said, you know what, we're gonna get out in front of this. We're just gonna say what we have at E3.
Really?
Yeah, Sean Layden was on the
Oh, yeah.
what's
That's
the name of their podcast? Is it just the Blogcast? I'm sorry, I'm trying to find. Yes, the PlayStation Blogcast, which is the kind of internal community podcast they do.
It's not good.
Sean Layden was on that thing last week and said, hey, here's what we're showing at E3. And the games are, God, where's that list? Here it is. Death Stranding, Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2.
Well, it's not the biggest four, right? Or just the biggest game.
Well, it's the announced ones, and Ghosts of Tsushima, the Sucker Punch game.
What was that supposed to be? Because I haven't heard of that one before.
They announced it at what, that Paris?
Yeah,
Games
it
Week,
looks
I think?
kind of
It's-
well. It was
like
it
an
was a
open
cinematic
world-y-
trailer, but yeah,
It's like an open world samurai action game.
There was a samurai on a horse at one point.
Yeah, sounds neat.
What did Sucker Punch do last?
They did all the infamous games.
Yeah, Second Son.
Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
That's their stuff.
I had a dream about Second Son the other day. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, and also he alluded to some more changes to their format, to the point that I don't know what this press conference
Their
actually
PlayStation-
is.
like the format of the press conference.
Yeah.
3 hours more talking about comic books.
No, it sounds more stripped down, if anything. Here's
Well,
what he
wasn't
said. He
Last,
said
last year it was just like trailer.
Yeah,
and then
that's-
yeah.
they didn't even have people in
last year
between
they
them
had
sometimes,
the
right?
they had the God of War orchestra. And
Yeah.
Was last year when they had the acrobatics? Or was that the year before?
I just remember
I
the
don't
Brian,
think so.
the Brian Michael Bendis Powers thing that went on forever, which they got a lot of. That was for. That
Yeah,
was
that
for
was ages
They
ago.
were they had the
was-
technical problems last year, and they had to show
Yeah.
the shorter Spider-Man
Right,
trailer.
that's right.
Right.
But yeah, they've already been like reducing the number of people on stage and the amount of talking and just kind of rolling trailers and stuff. So he says, Sean Layden said, we're taking kind of a different angle on how we're bringing it out, talking about the stage show. The last 2 or 3 years, to the careful observer, you'll see that we continue to try to refresh and remake and reignite what we do at what used to be called a press conference for E3. We want to make sure that it's fresh and reflects the kind of stories we're telling and the new entertainment we have to give to our fans, not just at the event, but worldwide with streaming. So
Last of Us 4 is coming out right on stage.
I don't know
They're going
what.
to release it that day.
Sure.
PT is out now. You can download it and play it.
I don't know if they even do a stage show the way he's talking. If it's practically Nintendo Direct-esque.
Huh.
If they've got some kind of produced package for this or something.
Or what if they go
'Cause
the
when
other
he-
way
when-
and they just have like interpretive dance that explains each game?
They get Cirque du Soleil to put
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
a extravaganza.
Blue Man Group and Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, that'd be a
most
good.
elaborate crossover of all time.
That'd be a great tie-in with Knack 3. They could all form a big Knack and just
Yeah,
like walk
okay.
around on stage.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he said the show will, quote, feature exclusive looks and deep dives at those 4 games. So, like,
So
it
maybe it's
sounds
just
like
4
maybe,
games.
maybe it's just like 4
Yeah.
long demos of those games. I mean, he said there will also be third-party stuff there. You know, they always have, like,
Yeah, they'll
like
do the
here's
indie
your
corner.
Destiny 2 exclusivity deal, and here's, you know, some other third-party stuff.
They'll
But
talk about like the pro their exclusives. Yeah, they'll talk about exclusives. They'll talk about DLC.
But it does sound like those games are the focus at this thing. So I'm super curious to see what their stage show ends up being.
They also announced a Square Enix press conference.
Yeah,
Check
we
that out?
talked about that last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it.
Thanks for being
Someone
here.
doesn't listen to the Bombcast.
Somebody was busy last week.
Let's see. More leaks? Anybody?
Sure.
Are we getting all the news
love
done now?
leaking.
We're not.
Maybe.
Holy
Dude, this
shit.
is this is bizarre. I don't know what to make of this.
Hit me.
Retro Studios,
Oh yeah,
makers of Metroid Prime and recent,
GameSpy.
recent. Oh yeah, also that. And recent Donkey Kong Country games.
Funky mode.
A rumor started circulating yesterday that their next game. Are you ready for this?
Please.
Star Fox Grand Prix.
Yes.
That sounds like a Star
Hold
Fox
on.
like kart racer or something.
Fuck,
Is this
yes.
the Diddy Kong sequel that we've always dreamed of?
I don't know.
Yes. Oh my God. Diddy Kong Racing in the Star Fox universe. You got Star Fox, Falco, Slippy Toad, Peter
The
Hare.
fourth one.
And then there's like Pigma
Yeah.
and the chameleon guy and the panther.
And the planet face guy.
Andros.
Yeah.
Andros' cousin, Andrew, who's like a little monkey.
There's got to be romantic leads for all of the lead characters.
Yeah, Crystal.
Yeah.
You've got the Admiral, who's a dog, who says, Star Fox, you gotta go get the
Yeah.
burgers.
Yeah.
Um,
Pirate. There's a pirate in there somewhere, isn't
yeah,
there?
yeah. Well, the Star Wolf members are
right.
interchangeable. There's Pigma, obviously, who sold out Star Fox's father and caused him to go on the suicide mission against Andros. Look,
It's a deep, rich universe, is what you're saying.
it is, and it's about time it explored. You could go in a plane or a tank.
Or I bet they could add a boat too.
Yeah, some kind of like boat.
Yeah. You could get the full trifecta for Diddy Kong.
And
Diddy
then
Kong Racing 2, Star Fox Rally.
And you can get TikTok. If you go into the waterfall, you unlock TikTok, and you can race around as him.
It's so hard to do that.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not I assumed that they were making Metroid Prime 4.
No, that maybe I don't. Well, okay. Let me tell you what's in this story, and then we can maybe suss that
Other
out.
M2 maybe.
Oh God!
Please,
Oh,
no.
No.
That was the last Wii game I bought, I
Could
think.
cut on an M2 drive.
Oh, going out on a banger.
Yeah.
So Kotaku says they verified this with a source that they described as plugged into goings on at Nintendo.
Sakurai.
And
Nintendo Uncle.
and 2 other sources they talked to, they seem pretty confident this is real.
It was Reggie.
He is my
This
uncle.
I'm trying to find it. This says that God, where is that?
He used to tell me all the hot scoops on what was coming out on Pizza Hut, and that was all Nintendo shit.
Sorry, I'm trying to find this bit.
I found out about that sausage crust pizza way before anybody else.
I was like, look, there's this new disgusting thing coming out. You guys got to get it.
We are at the forefront of food innovation.
Oh God.
Anyway, like when they announced Metroid Prime 4, they said explicitly Retro was not
Hmm.
working on it, that they were doing something else.
Do you think that Metroid Prime, like Metroid Universe, has a split like Zelda where they have different timelines and there's no time travel in Metroid, so I guess that wouldn't work, huh?
Yeah, it's always just been the one Samus.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Just that Samus.
Which is weird because like each of the games really does different stuff. It feels like different characters sometimes, like other M Samus as opposed to Metroid Fusion Samus, and like sometimes she makes really interesting character moves, and then sometimes she's just a completely blank slate. So
Oh, here we. I'm sorry, I misread this part. So basically, this story says that Retro had a separate project in development that had a rocky cycle and may have been canceled.
and that was the Star Fox.
No, they're
Oh,
saying that is current.
okay.
I think this other project would have been separate from that.
Okay. Huh. Well, I mean, we'll see in a couple
I
weeks.
didn't understand a word that you just said. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to suss this out. Yeah, the Hang on. The person familiar with this Star Fox racing game confirmed many of the details that have been floating around the web today. So it sounds like the Star Fox racing game
My uncle.
is still in production.
Glug glug.
Does it
If you
even
know what I
know?
mean.
The wording is not super clear. It sounds like they maybe had a project that
Very
got canceled,
confused.
Yeah.
and now they're making this.
He likes the old vodka lemonades.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
So maybe
it sounds like you're excited, Brad.
I don't.
They made me very happy.
One person.
Yeah.
Audience of one.
I mean, I guess they have to do something with Star Fox. It's
When
been,
was the last Star Fox game? The
it
3DS
was,
game or
no,
something?
It was
No, they
that
did
Wii U
the-
game.
yeah.
What was that called? Star Fox
Zero.
Yes.
Zero, right?
Which was
I did not play
also
that.
Big
its rating.
return to form for
Yeah.
Star Fox.
I think Dan reviewed that and did not like it at all.
No.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
So
I
Star
don't-
Fox 2 was the most recent release, actually. It came out of the
Well,
SNES Classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Actually,
Yeah.
it was pretty good. It was okay.
It was,
Not bad.
it was a return to form.
Sure. But yeah,
No, actually, it totally was not.
It brought the core competencies of the original into the modern age.
indeed.
A mixed bag.
Yeah.
Fans of the genre.
Yeah. Rent it.
Sure. I am
Rent a
pleased.
Super Nintendo Classic.
Jeff
and
right
play
now
it.
is screaming at his radio someplace.
I am pleased for people who are excited by this news. Congratulations.
Woo, we're out here. There's
hope you're
dozens of
happy.
us.
I'm not sure who that's for.
I like car racers.
Let's see.
There'll be
They already
green
make
shells?
they already make one though.
Yeah, but
it's
this one
arguably
will
they
have
make the
quite
only good
popular.
one.
be planes.
It's quite popular.
This one will be planes.
I mean, doesn't that
There's
one have
planes
planes
in
too?
this one too.
Well, that one
Gliders.
has like gliders.
They really need another car.
Look, Diddy Kong was a good game.
Yes. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
I'm the
I know.
only.
You're the only one in here that's going to agree with
What
me
if
on
this thing?
one.
I mean, okay, if this thing plays more like F-Zero, then I'm back in.
Oh, if it's
Okay,
fast?
yeah.
If
It's real
that's
fast?
if that's the angle they want to go with this, then I'm in.
How fast can the Switch go?
I don't know. How fast can you throw? How hard can you throw it?
How fast can you drive?
Not very far. I'm, you know. Huh.
Should call it tested and get them to launch a Switch.
They have a trebuchet.
Really?
Yeah.
Should put a Switch in there.
I have a laser cutter. I can make a trebuchet.
Whoa.
How do you feel
small
about
one.
trebuchet memes?
I've never seen
Can
a
you-
trebuchet
That's a
meme.
big. That's a
Can you
big
can you put your
community.
can you put a Switch in the laser cutter?
I mean, yeah.
I want to
Start
see
a
a
YouTube
Switch
channel?
go through a water cannon, like a water pressure thing. I want to see it get cut in half cleanly.
Oh, like a water jet?
Yeah, a water jet.
I know people have water jets.
Yeah.
I don't.
Introduce me
I
to
like
them.
my Switch though. You can't have my Switch.
I want to see the whole box go through.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
really
can't
into precision destruction.
I know.
It
I have a lot
seems.
of machine. That's a creation tool, not a destruction.
Machine destruction.
Look, at Maker Faire is this weekend in San Francisco. There will almost certainly be a plasma cutter there. There usually is. So if you want to get your Switch cut in half,
Yeah.
go to Maker Faire. It's in San Mateo Fairgrounds. It's a great event for the family. There'll be fun for everyone.
Will they
How's
do
the,
it long ways and wide?
Look, I don't own the plasma cutter. I don't work there. I'm just saying, if you ask real nice and you bring your Switch, maybe you can get some magic to happen.
How's the 3D printing tech going on
Yeah.
now? I assume it's been leaps. The last time I saw one in action was back at the underworld.
The one that I built?
Probably.
Norman I built? That one wasn't
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, no. I've never seen a single good 3D printed thing that was really impressive to me in
You
person, but
probably haven't realized it at this point.
I have not seen the good stuff.
For example, I believe that the combustion chambers on SpaceX rockets are 3D printed.
Huh.
Whoa.
So there's a lot of stuff
okay.
that people can 3D print, like
Out of
Autodesk,
what kind of
titanium. You can print out of aluminum
mm.
and titanium and stuff now.
Whoa.
I actually saw I can talk about this. Autodesk has a 3D printer that prints titanium pieces that are. This was 2 years ago that were like this long. So like the technology's gotten better. It laser sinters titanium particles, and they made a bicycle that weighed like 4 pounds or something.
That would not be legal in international competition, just so you know.
That's should let them know. Okay, I look. There's a
just
lot of
getting
things
that
that
out of
aren't
the way
legal
now.
in
There's a
international competition.
limit for international competition.
That never stopped anybody. The fact that it was against the rules.
It was like 6.1 pounds.
Anyway, it was like you could pick it up with one finger bicycle frame, and
Hey.
it was very cool.
For me, I'd probably need at least 3 for
Yeah.
4 pounds. I'm not a very strong person. I was just curious because I've most of what I've seen 3D printed, unlike Imager and stuff like that, is always like, hey, my D&D dragon.
It's more most like home 3D printers are novelties for people who want to noodle around with.
But
3D
now
printing and know
there
how
are
to
3D
use it.
printers that can make homes. I mean, I've heard about that too, where you can like make a whole fucking prefab thing and just plug it together.
Yeah,
and
you
you've
can
got
like
a tiny house.
print a concrete house if you have the right robot.
Man,
It's the
feel-
future.
Feel like I'm being facetious. Whenever I saw like the little tiny like, hey, I'm making a stand for my amiibo, is like great. Come back when I can make a nuclear bomb.
We
And that
print-
sounds like it's pretty close.
We print a lot of doll furniture in our house. Okay. It's a surprisingly like that actually is a use that we get a lot. We get a lot of use out of
Man,
printing
what a-
doll furniture.
For Chloe.
Childhood got weird.
Yeah. We well the kiddo like we do the laser cutter is a much more useful thing. Like I made Mother's Day cards this weekend on the laser cutter by cutting out best. I got the kid to write mom in crayon.
Yeah.
Turned that into a vector. Put that with best and ever on either side of it. Cut that out and glued it to a different color piece of cardboard.
It's overstating.
It's a
things
big
little
hit.
bit, maybe.
It was a big hit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm sorry for the tangent. I'm always curious about that kind of stuff. I've never been to Maker Faire, so
You should go to Maker Faire. It's fun for a whole family.
this
R2G2
weekend I'll
will be
probably be
there.
answering emails. So we'll see.
You can answer emails at Maker Faire.
I'll go for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
I think this is the last E3 leak.
Okay.
Although we may
For
not-
now.
like something else may leak before we get to the end of the news. But The Verge ran a story yesterday with a picture of a new controller that Microsoft is putting out.
The Xbox Elite 2?
No,
it
it's
is an-
actually an accessible one. It's
it is-
cool.
it is a controller geared toward accessibility. It's shaped kind of like an NES controller.
But the buttons are huge.
Oh,
It's,
it's
uh,
like for people who use their feet to play games and stuff like that.
Like actual
probably.
accessibility
Yeah,
features.
yeah, yeah.
It's cool.
Oh,
It's,
that's awesome.
It's a D-pad. It's like the menu buttons. Like I don't even know what this called. What do they call those things at this point?
The
They're-
back and
Start
menu.
and
start and select.
Share.
Uh,
Yeah, start and select.
Yeah, so
That's options
it's a
and
D-pad. It's
share.
those, and then it's just two giant like programmable. I guess they
Like
are sort of like
trackpads?
trackpad-y slider.
They look like Steam controller kind of things.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
and I believe there's some sort of LED stuff
That's really cool.
attached to
Yeah,
the programmability.
It looks neat.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Well, so it looked like it has the same three lights as the Xbox Pro controller to Elite
I
controller.
believe
2
that's
leak,
the case.
right?
Yes,
Is the idea?
yes, you're right.
Yeah, I mean that stuff's awesome. Like right up until this point, people have to hack that stuff together using
Yeah.
mini controllers and stuff like that. So this is really cool.
It's really nice of a company of that size to,
Yeah.
to
And hopefully
take,
it's like
take notice of this stuff.
urges Sony to do something similar.
I don't know if that's like a press conference stage announcement for them, or if that's just something that's sort of like a
It's
press,
probably at a booth
like a press
somewhere.
release comes out.
How many new first-party titles do you think Microsoft has at E3
I
this
don't
year?
know. I
It's
guess
kind
we'll
of they
find
might have
out.
some
Gotta have
time.
something, dude.
Yeah,
They've said it's the best lineup ever or whatever.
it's like 20 minutes for State of Decay, Gears of War 5 for 20 minutes, 45 minutes for the Xbox Elite controller 2 and the accessibility controller, and then that's the end of the show. That's it.
and we're raising the price of Xbox Gold.
Yeah, they've got to have games.
Yeah.
to announce.
I mean Game Pass, right? They gotta push Game Pass. They gotta pimp that out.
but in order to push Game Pass, they have to have games to put on Game Pass. So
It seems guaranteed that they will announce something launching that day on Game Pass. So you can pay $10 right now.
Yeah.
I would assume there would be something huge.
I've said,
Oh,
I've said it multiple times.
Crackdown 3
my
maybe.
bet is Crackdown for sure.
I hope we get
Oh.
some Sea of Thieves content announcements.
Yeah,
or
they-
I would love to see that.
They just put out a new. They put out like notes for a new update. I think yesterday.
You think Sea of Thieves can be
it's
kind of
all-
saved from the initial?
I don't know. I mean, like all the updates right now are geared toward basic matchmaking type stuff and
Yeah.
quality of life. Like not a lot of huge content
Still
updates
no
yet.
progression or anything like that.
They are adding a way to make it so you can get people in and out of your crew more easily.
Oh, like without having to start and stop your game.
Yes, exactly.
That would
I don't
be
mean to-
delightful.
Can
Yes.
it be saved? But it seems like again, from what I must read like YouTube comments and comments on our site, and it seemed like that game was not super well received.
Yeah.
So I played like 15 or 20 hours of it, and it was fun. I would totally go back to it if they
Yeah, I
had
would
some
too,
stuff
if the
to do.
content was
Yeah.
there.
I think the fact that there's no huge progression is actually maybe going to work out slightly in its favor for getting people back in, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna, I can jump in now and not feel like I'm under leveled or not going to be able to keep up with my friends who have been playing.
Yeah, but if I try to jump into Destiny 2 now, I'm 40 light behind or
Yeah.
something, which
I-
seems insurmountable.
I mean, they
You can
they
get there pretty quick.
they ramp you up, pretty fast in the new expansions. But it's
sounds good.
let's see. All right, I think that's all the E3 news for the week. There's a few other things though. Valve is putting out Steam Link for mobile.
This is awesome.
Yeah,
This is a good idea.
People are very excited about this.
It's not just for mobile; it's also for tvOS, so it's for your Apple TV as well.
Okay.
Um,
So you don't have to buy a Steam Link.
so you have to
if
buy a
have-
Steam
if
Link.
you have an Apple TV.
although an Apple TV is $150 or something, and a Steam Link is like $6.
Steam Link, yeah.
They give them away with
Yeah.
cereal boxes or something
I
now.
got mine for $11.
It
Yeah.
seems like they're always on sale.
I mean, I think the difference is that the Apple TV presumably can support 4K, and I don't know that the Steam Link actually can.
Steam Link was even rough on 1080p wireless. I had one. I used it. I was never happy with the image quality.
It is wildly dependent on your router, in my experience. So I switched from my DDWRT routers to Google Home routers a few months ago, and suddenly wireless Steam Link was fine. But yeah, it's like I use it wireless in the bedroom all the time. It's great. I love it. I would love to do it on like clamp a controller to an iPhone and play.
Well, now you
that.
can.
Well, next week.
This says the app supports Steam controllers and MFi controllers. MFi is the Apple standard.
MFi is the Apple standard.
Okay. And then
So you can use a Steam controller.
I guess when they say Steam controllers, that would have to be with Android, right? Because you're
Yeah,
you're not
'cause
you're not going to be able to pair a Steam controller with an iPhone,
like
right?
like you can pair a PS4 controller with an Android tablet.
Okay.
And that works.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know what the iOS controller, because the tvOS stuff has to use MFi stuff, I think.
Yeah, you're not
So
going to
I'm-
use that TV controller for anything.
No, yeah, you're not using the TV controller. I'm interested
barely
to see
use it
what,
for the
like,
Apple
what
TV, to be honest with
gamepads.
The
Yeah.
thing I want to know is how touchscreen support might work. Like
Probably-
for mouse-driven games.
Probably 0.
Oh,
like,
that's
like
interesting.
my immediate thought is, maybe I can play Into the Breach on my iPad now.
Oh my god.
Oh.
But like, I wonder if developers would actually start doing native touchscreen support for this, or like finding a way to sort of like
To, like,
fudge the mouse
pipe it
control,
through?
yeah, to make it
Well, I mean, they could do it on the app side by saying, "Hey, a 2-finger tap is a right click."
right. That's what I mean,
But-
like kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, like you're never gonna be able to play like StarCraft or something like that.
No,
but that's
no,
gonna be
no,
too
no.
slow.
But something
but Into the
turn-based.
Breach would totally
Yeah,
work,
like
theoretically.
like that seems like a better way to play that on an iPad than
What if-
waiting 2 years for the port.
What if this is a thing that exists because somebody at Valve wanted to play Into the Breach on their iPad?
I'm fine with that
Yeah.
if that's what it takes.
It's free, though, right? No, the
Yeah,
apps,
I'm sure.
apparently
I'm
have been
sure
out.
it is. Yeah, it has to be.
That's neat.
$39.
But I assume it'll still take over your gaming PC. Like you won't be able to do anything else on
Yeah,
it.
it has to, the way that stuff works on Steam.
My
right
goal
now.
is still to have Ni no Kuni 2 running and be playing something else at the same time, or even working on my desktop, because you build up gold when you're doing Ni no Kuni 2. But if it loses focus, it stops everything. So
my former coworkers from Maximum PC, who are now at PC World, made a hypervisor 16-core Intel machine where they had 4 virtual machines running Windows 10, and they played Bridge Crew, 4-player Bridge Crew on one machine.
Wow.
As like a stunt that they did with Intel last year.
That's
So you could totally do that. It's just an enormous pain in the ass. It's going to require like a $5,000 computer.
did you guys talk about the next generation DLC for Bridge Crew?
no, it's only on PS4.
Well, I don't
What?
know.
Yeah,
For now.
You can only see the board
like
on
a-
PS4.
it's like
I
a-
believe they said it's coming.
yeah, it's like a 1 or 2 month exclusive on
Oh, okay.
PSVR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're waiting for PC to check that out.
Yeah,
But
when
but
you
I
do
need to
that,
check
let me
that
know.
out.
I'm available. I want to fight the Borg. I want to
Saw-
be the Borg.
Oh, yeah.
Saw some footage of that bridge. It looks pretty good.
That's the bridge I wanted.
Yep.
That's the game I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
The wood paneling,
Yeah.
the wood paneling, the nice curved design.
Oh,
That's the bridge. L cars,
yeah.
like that's what you want.
Although, I mean, I could go to Adam's shop and he has a Captain Kirk chair that he made.
No.
And I could just go sit. I could just go sit and play the old one in the
Go
Captain
to my
Kirk
TV
chair.
star friend's house.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Jan's what's
Dropping names.
I could also probably.
that? Man, 2 out of 5 people in this room.
I mean, look, the Captain Kirk chair was a pretty easy. Anybody who cares, the most expensive thing in that is the gimbal that makes it turn.
I mean, that thing is pretty angular. It's probably not that
it was
hard.
a pretty easy build.
Probably not that hard to
Yeah.
build.
Getting the lights to blink in the right way was surprisingly difficult.
The card chair on the
Now
other
go
hand.
back to Captain Pike's little wheelchair. That'd be what I'd want to
Just
and
the
ride
head
that
sticking out of the
around
big
like
box with the
Comic-Con,
red
just
light.
Do the I can't talk. What was the original Captain Pike on Star Trek? Did he have like a voice box or something? Like the original premiere episode of the original?
No, he was a human. He was the captain.
Yeah,
they
but he was-
recast him.
But then no, in the actual original series, they cast him as a guy in a wheelchair with like a voice box. He was totally
Yeah, he was
blown
like
up.
brain locked or something. The
I
only way he
forget.
could communicate was with the red light.
Oh right. Okay, you never
was,
even talked.
That one was they used recut footage from the original pilot.
Yeah,
for
'cause
that.
he was the actor they didn't want in the end. and
Yeah.
they recast it. Yeah,
That episode has a really good name, and I can't remember what it is now.
the Travesties of Command or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Old Star Trek episodes have
Star
really,
Trek
good, really good
segue.
names
Yes.
in general.
I don't know.
Man Trap.
Let's see a couple other stories here. I kind of threw this in because Will, you often have interesting perspective on some of this kind of digital privacy and rights type stuff.
Yeah.
We talked about Super Monday Night Combat getting shut down a week or 2 ago because it ran afoul of the GDPR,
Yes.
the General Data Protection Regulation, which is
Goddamn privacy regulations.
Big government, man.
the big EU.
This is a good thing.
so-
I mean, it's not a good that the games are getting shut down, but
Well,
the privacy
yeah,
regulations are
but
good.
so yeah, we have another casualty of the GDPR, which is loadout. If you remember that,
no.
it's 2014 free to play third-person
yeah.
shooter. It kind of looks like TF2,
Yeah.
very cartoony. We played it a couple times on the site back then, but it also is going down because there's some other stuff, some other server backend stuff that is also becoming too costly for them. But the developer says most significantly it's the GDPR.
I don't know what the requirements are for the GDPR because we have not run afoul of it. But
Have you guys actually looked at it?
No, I didn't. I haven't.
We're just ignoring it.
I don't know how much user data you guys are collecting.
Look, we're an small independent
Okay.
operation. We're hoping
Oh,
to
I
just
see.
fly
Okay,
under
just
the
think you just
radar of
gotta-
the
Okay,
Anytime
We're just
somebody
gonna
puts on a
notice.
headset, it takes their retinal scans.
No, for the kind of thing that I know we do is that if you have an opt-in to like, hey, you want to follow our newsletter, so you have to have the be opt-out unchecked.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
the kind of stuff you have to worry
Yeah,
about with
I certainly
GDPR.
don't know all the specifics, but my general understanding is you just have to be transparent about what you've collected and allow people to delete, for the most part,
Right
the
to be
data.
deleted
Yeah,
is
the
the
data
problem.
that they're not.
Yeah, but so we don't collect eye tracking. We did that initially on the first launch of the Firewatch episode because we wanted to see what people liked and what people didn't, and if they actually watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then people watched the whole thing, so we stopped tracking because it's a pain in the ass to collect data and store it and all that stuff. And I didn't want to be responsible, so it's all
Giant
gone
Bomb
now.
side.
You guys collect all sorts of data.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
everything is locked off. We don't collect. I can't even look at anybody's credit card if I wanted to. It's all on a payment processor, PCI DSS.
I should probably tell you guys about the side hustle I've been running, but we can wait till after the podcast.
Okay.
We need to call you up.
$3 per.
We need to. Does anyone know a European lawyer?
Moving on. All right. Last story. One Cliff Blazinski
Yeah, it sucks.
posted a message yesterday that Boss Key Productions is shutting down.
This is a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that, you guys played Lawbreakers.
Yeah, I've never actually played it. Jeff
I watched some Lawbreakers.
Jeff
It
played a
didn't
fair
seem
amount
bad.
of it.
I played a little
No,
bit.
I don't,
I've
I've never seen anybody say that it's bad. It just there was like no demand for it at all.
It was interesting in the way that like UT, like say if somebody had a UT server with good mods, like good mutators, it could be really fun. And it seemed like that was the thing that they were trying to capture. It seemed like they did a pretty good job of it.
That's just not at all where the shooter market is right now.
Yeah, I mean they made an expensive game that nobody wanted to play,
Yeah,
which
like
sucks.
Radical Heights was their Hail Mary. That
Yeah,
apparently-
Lawbreakers didn't make it. It doesn't seem like Quake Champions is doing a lot. Like Epic seems to have stopped working on that new Unreal Tournament.
Well,
Like just the deathmatch shooter is just not like in.
well, except like I run War Mode customs in PUBG every night and fill the games up in like a half a second because people love deathmatch in PUBG.
As long as it's not actually a deathmatch
As-
game.
I mean, it's a deathmatch game when you put it in War Mode.
Well, that's what I mean.
yeah.
It's a fun. It's a fun deathmatch game.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
Yeah, so yeah, they hustled Radical Heights out with like I think they said like 5 months worth of work. That did not do it for them either.
No.
He even says in a last ditch attempt, we scrambled to do our take on the battle royale genre with Radical Heights, which was well received. However, it was too little, too late.
I played a fair amount of Radical Heights. That game was neat.
It was not
It's a
terrible,
bummer
especially
that they're
for
not
like
gonna
5
get to finish
months.
it.
It was kind of
It was a
decent.
rough sketch.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
I heard some people at the studio actually heard that of that closure on Twitter as
From
well.
that
at the same
tweet, I
time.
saw that
that
going around.
sucks.
I can't verify that, but that is definitely pretty rotten if that's the case.
Yeah.
Also, kind of a bummer. Like in this tweet, it's pretty much exclusively about him. It's a whole studio of
Yeah.
people.
People who signed on to his
yeah,
vision.
like who were led by him. He obviously convinced a fair number of people that he had good ideas and the backroom deals to pull it off.
Yes, one of the 3 paragraphs is pretty much just about him, and he does say, "To those of you who have supported myself and the studio these last years, thank you from the bottom of my heart and everyone who came to work for me."
So there's one of the things that's interesting about the modern game landscape is that like if you keep your expenses low, you can go and resurrect a dead genre and make the game that you love from the 90s in a modern context and sell a couple 100,000 copies or whatever, enough to keep going, keep making those kinds of games. But if you come out and you build a giant, I mean, I don't think Boss Key was huge, but it wasn't a small studio by any means.
It wasn't indie.
Yeah, like you're not. It's hard to revitalize a dead genre. It's really risky, I guess,
It's a
to
big risk.
revitalize a dead genre. And you need to sell 500,000 copies. It's way harder to sell 500,000 copies than to sell 50,000 or 60,000
Yeah.
copies.
Yeah.
So rip Boss Key, I
Yeah.
guess. Hope those people land. And seems like from what I saw on Twitter yesterday, people are like reaching out, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of work in that part of the country
Wasn't-
too.
I believe
one of the nicest things to see about this industry, like that I don't see in a lot of other industries. Whenever there is layoffs like this, I do see a lot of just really supportive people out there on Twitter, and just it is really nice.
Bosky was in Raleigh, North Carolina,
yeah, so
which
they
is
could go work
also
on
where- Yeah,
Fortnite.
so Epic may be hiring. So
I mean, one of the things, and this is when I started out in the magazine business 20 years ago, my first boss on the first day after I'd accepted the job was like, so here's the thing you need to know about working in magazines. You can be sacked at any moment for things that are not your fault at all, and you should be ready for that. So make sure you save money and don't games is the same. You have to be prepared to be sacked at any moment for no fault of your own. So it's great.
CBS Watch Magazine, which will go on forever.
Yeah.
My favorite magazine.
The greatest magazine.
America's-
they had a great article this month about young Sheldon on the cover. I was reading.
America's
I was
most
waiting
watched
to get in.
magazine.
America's Most Watched Magazine. I bring it
really-
up every time because it's
You need to bring the horoscopes next time.
horoscopes are my favorite part.
I've never actually read that magazine.
There
There are a lot of them around here.
I just my favorite thing is walking through the kitchen and seeing that one with
There is a Johnny
LL
Apple
Cool J,
magazine.
just with his arms
Yep.
out,
Uh-huh.
and it says the words "cool tech" in front of him.
No, that's CNET
That's the
magazine.
CNET mag.
God.
All magazines look the same to those
I mean,
millennials.
ladies,
I don't even know what a magazine really is. It seems like it's some kind of ebook, but that you
You're
can touch.
off brand.
It's a
You're
glossy
off
newspaper,
brand.
Ben. A glossy newspaper.
ladies love cool tech. That's my understanding. I don't know. Okay.
The pink issue.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna get in trouble.
All right. Let's
Not
take a
me.
break. That's it for the news. I'm sure more E3 leaks will be leaking over the next few weeks, but that's all we got for now. So yeah, we'll be right back.
Hey, are you about that life?
I live it every day.
Of course you do.
I wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, life. Let's do this.
Yeah, life, let's do this. And sometimes life takes place online.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard about that place.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
It's
I'm afraid to go there, though.
Afraid? Why? You can create your own corner that's safe for you.
I mean, I'm not averse to it. I don't want to go alone.
You don't have to go alone.
No?
No, you've got a friend in Squarespace.
Wow, really?
Support for today's show comes from Squarespace.
Man.
Think it, dream it, make it with Squarespace.
They're going to take me there?
That's right. They're going to take you there. They're going to take you by the hand and whisk you away to the wonderful world of internet and beautiful custom templates from world-class designers.
Is that where they have the candy cane houses?
Yes.
Gumdrop mountains?
If you want
On the online?
If you're trying to push some candy cane houses and gumdrop mountains on the online,
They're going to be my digital shepherd
that's right.
to take me to the rolling green hills of internet.
Definitely. They've got beautiful templates created by those world-class designers, and they make it easy to turn your ideas of gumdrops and whatnot into a new and unique website.
People still eat gumdrops?
Probably.
What is a gumdrop?
A gumdrop is that it's that sugary, chewy, kind of a thicker gummy thing that you would use to decorate the roof of a gingerbread house.
Okay. Ooh, gingerbread.
You could eat it, but You can customize everything on this website, from look and feel to settings and products. It's all optimized for mobile right out of the box. So if you've got gumdrops that you just want to stick to your phone, that's an option. That's an option for you.
I'll consider it.
All right. You can showcase your work. You got a blog, you want to publish some content, or you want to sell some stuff.
Gingerbread houses.
You can announce a special project, like your gingerbread house project.
This house is made out of Pop-Tarts.
Weird. I thought you were going to say gingerbread, but that's cool too.
We're expanding.
Okay.
We're broadening our portfolio.
Well, great. You need to get that portfolio in front of people, and Squarespace is the way. They've got analytics so you can view how well that portfolio is doing at any given time. There's nothing to install.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Give them to me.
That's right. You get all the numbers you want, or none of the numbers. If you don't want to see the numbers, they're never going to force you to look at them.
Just pretend the numbers aren't there.
That's right.
That works too.
Just when someone asks you, how's your bubblegum company going? You just say blowing up.
Yep.
And then that's that. There's not.
You know the bubble is probably going to burst sometime soon.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. But if you do have a question, Squarespace will help you out. They've got 24/7 customer support right there.
Wow.
Ready for you.
They're nice people.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Keep dreaming, but make it a reality with a website from Squarespace. Okay. You can head over to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/bombcast, offer code BOMBCAST.
Will, what the hell is on your Dr. Pepper can?
What is this? What is this mutiny taking place here?
Sorry,
Yeah, I was
I
thrown
saw
way
it,
off.
Matt
and
Laurie.
I had to see what the heck. It looks something.
This
Very seizing control of this podcast.
season's greatest film, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, featuring Jeff Goldblum.
Does that say Stiggy?
That's a name of
Wait,
a
is it-
dinosaur named Siggy. This is a I've ruined the collectible value of this can.
The Stickysaurus.
Is that
Bought
a-
into their marketing.
Is that
ploy.
literally the subtitle of this movie, Fallen Kingdom?
Fallen Kingdom?
Which Jurassic Park movie does that not describe?
Wasn't
That's every single one is a Fallen Kingdom.
wasn't
isn't
that
it?
also the name of a No Doubt album? No, that's Tragic Kingdom.
There, but also, which Jurassic Park movie does that not describe?
I have almost a full collection of Phantom Menace Mountain Dew cans.
Okay. Unopened?
No, super opened.
We
just in my
broke.
closet.
We broke a commemorative Star Wars glass in the earthquake yesterday.
Oh
no. yeah.
And
no.
it had Han Solo on it. So I'm saying right now, Solo's going to be this
Who?
Solo movie's going to be.
Where'd you get the
bomb.
commemorative glass from? If you
I don't
tweet them on the internet,
It's not
then
mine,
they
it's my
will send you a
girlfriend's.
complete set.
You
of
guys
the
all felt that
replacement
That
earthquake, right?
earthquake scared the
Yeah, it
shit
was a
out of
big
me.
one.
We didn't even
Because
talk about it.
I didn't even.
It was
get
only 2
get
kilometers
it?
from our house.
Not at all.
We did. It was East Bay.
It was
More.
a 3
It was a Hayward fault, right?
I ran right to my monitor and grabbed it. That's all I did. I was like, "Are you okay, baby?"
Save the
you
all
should.
4Ks.
You should earthquake proof that thing.
Because you had no idea, like, if it was going to keep up. It was like one
It was-
short, sharp thing.
Oh, see, for us, it was a long, low rumble.
No, it was for us. It was like maybe 5 seconds.
Well, I'm
so
out.
it
I'm a
really-
long way across
really
the
fire.
water from you guys.
I thought it was my
so-
upstairs neighbors just like
No.
dancing or something, and then I realized every wall was shaking. And that
That was the
couldn't be
biggest
them.
earthquake I felt in a long time.
Yeah,
One of
same
my
here.
kids said that she thought maybe her kid just farted. It's like, man,
Okay.
you might wanna get
Powerful
that looked
child.
at. Yeah.
Brad, I see control of the podcast.
Thank you. That's very kind. That is a really dumb can.
Look,
I have to say.
I was looking there. I was like, I pressed the button for the Dr. Pepper, and then I realized that you have Diet Mountain Dew here, which is a novelty beverage most places.
Is it?
I don't know.
I've only ever seen that at Taco Bell.
Well, they've got the market on weird Mountain Dews.
Oh, they got that Baja
Yeah,
Blast.
they do
That's
got
true.
that Baja Blast.
They do
Some
have
good
that.
stuff.
We have those video games.
Do
Oh,
we-
video games, eh?
Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
E3's a ways off. There's still games coming out right now.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually like the week before and the week after that. There really is.
Yeah, the stuff tapered. Or if something comes off that week or comes out that week, you know
They
there's
send it out
yeah.
to die.
you know there is something amiss.
Yeah.
State of Decay 2. I've been playing.
That's
it.
a video
That's
game.
coming out this Friday if you pay them
Is
$50,
that zombies?
or
It
next
is.
next
Okay.
Tuesday if you pay them $30.
Or
a
what if I
weird-
pay them $10 for Game Pass every month?
I think it's next Tuesday if you have Game Pass.
I
think.
wait until
I'm pretty
it's a
yeah,
whole
because
week.
otherwise everybody would just pop Game Pass trial to play it this week.
No, because they already used their Game Pass trials for Sea of Thieves.
It's true.
Yeah, you only get to use one per account.
Yes.
You could just have to keep spinning up new Xbox Live gamer tags.
Do you also have to have gold to use that trial?
Yeah. I don't know about that.
No.
I didn't have to do anything. I have gold though, so
Yeah.
I'm not a good case study. How is it, Brad?
I am really into that game.
Well, like what?
I
Explain.
really
what-
want to be playing it right now.
So I didn't play the first one at all.
Okay. It's an open world zombie game.
Okay.
The
Like
action
Dead
is
Rising.
kinda.
Okay.
The action is fine but not remarkable.
Okay.
I'll put it this way: my girlfriend was watching me play it yesterday, and she said, "Is this game The Sims?" And I was like, "You know what? Now that you mention it, that kind of totally is."
Oh man, is it like that? Is it like
And the first game was the exact same thing, but it is basically a post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland of The Sims.
Is it like a third or first person kind of version
Third
of
person.
Rebuild that game that Sarah Northway makes? Have you ever played those? They're like top down isometric Sims, like old school Sims type games, but you have to develop a zombie survival colony.
Huh?
They're very good.
I haven't played those, but that's exactly what this is.
That sounds great. I'm into this.
It's cool. I mean, yeah, you have a community of survivors. You can recruit people into it, but there's also permadeath. So if people die, they're gone. You build a base. You have slots. You guys excited
How
about
many
slots in a base?
How many slots do you get?
Like
Like what? Like can
It
you
depends
put
on your
like
base.
slots for like
like-
barricades or like machine gun nests?
I think so. I haven't gotten that far. You can
Okay.
build watchtowers and stuff
All
like
right,
that. But it's like infirmaries. You can build a still.
Let me
or
back
a
up.
garden. Yes.
Are you just building a bigger base? keep in mind this is all video games can be reduced to like a concept like this, but is the goal just build a bigger base? Is that just kind of you're not like trying to rescue something or find a cure?
There is not much of a written story.
Okay.
Like an authored story.
It's
The
just
story
there
is,
has
hey,
been
zombies.
An outbreak
It's
of
fucked.
Zombies.
You should try to survive.
Okay.
But does weird shit like is it like a game where like emergent stuff happens where like
Absolutely.
like, people
It
go
is that
crazy
game.
and start shooting up your town
It
and
is
stuff
a
like that?
well, yeah. So everybody has morale ratings. There's fatigue. There are multiple types of injuries. Like it is that type of game.
Oh, this sounds-
like you've got what is it? Food, fuel, meds. There's like 3 other base resources, and there's upkeep. So they're all ticking down.
Ammo.
So you have to P.
P is one of
P
them.
is definitely a resource.
This sounds like anxiety to the game.
It
to
is.
me.
It totally is. Like it's all, a lot of it is about time management because they're throwing. Not only are your resources ticking down all the time, but they're throwing like side quests at you faster than you can do them all.
Sure.
And how many people are in your settlement? Like, are you talking about dozens of people or like
I've
10?
got 5 right now, and I played it at an event a few weeks ago and had 6, and it looked like from the menu that maybe 6 was the max. But
Okay.
you probably get a bigger community later. I think you move to different maps and get bigger, like a bigger base.
And
But
do you take everybody out at the same time? Like,
no.
okay.
So they don't seem to expose the fatigue, but after let's say 20 to 30, maybe 45 minutes, the character will get fatigued, and then their stamina starts dropping super fast. Like they can't really do much of anything.
I mean, it seems like the stress of fighting in a zombie apocalypse would maybe wear you down.
Yeah. You would think so.
What was
But,
that really dark game that was all like 2D based, but it was also the same kind of like survival thing where you had
Darkest Dungeon.
No, it was more like scavenging in a ruined world from like a year or 2 ago. I forget what it's called now. So not Salt Sanctuary or something.
Minecraft.
I forget. I played about an hour or 2 of State of Decay, and it always struck me as one of those games that I was about to get to the verge of going back and restarting and have a really good time, but I never did.
So I'm
Like Dying Light was the same way.
yeah.
where
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. I felt the same way about the first State of Decay, but I'm like 4 or 5 hours into this one, and I don't feel that need. I don't feel like I've made a lot of dumb mistakes. Like they expose enough of the information, enough of the gears about your base that you can, like for the most part, you can make informed decisions about stuff.
That to me is the biggest selling point of that game is if they nail, like if I can come in and get a really good idea of what I'm supposed to be doing, because
Yeah.
that's the main concern I heard with the first one was
Yeah.
just like it was incredibly dense for dense
And just kind of obtuse.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got red and green text everywhere, so you can kind of easily see, like, oh, this is a buff, this is a nerf. Oh, not a nerf, but whatever. What is
Yeah.
the opposite of a debuff?
Detriment, debuff. Yeah.
But more specifically, why? You can see, like, oh, this person's mad because there are too many infestations around our base. I should go clear some of those out, and then their morale will go up because they will, like, people who are mad will start fights with other survivors, and then you can get to the point where you have to exile them from your community.
Can you execute them?
I don't think so.
Can you put them in a cage with
there's-
a bunch of
there's-
zombies?
There's no
so they have to
friendly.
turn into a zombie?
So there is. I don't think the first game had this. There is a blood plague. There's an extra fast, ugly, bloody kind of zombie out there.
Ooh.
And if they attack one of your survivors, they get the blood plague, and making a cure for that is very arduous.
fast zombies? What do they think of?
Yeah, right. I know, right? It's radically innovative.
zombies with a gun.
So like a timer starts if they get the blood plague, and you have to try to go out and get these rare mats to cure them. And if you don't, they turn into a zombie, and then they're gone.
So the first one I saw, and I actually didn't kind of engage with it because I like looked at it and was like, this looks like it would be an amazing co-op game.
Yeah.
And this one you can play.
So they added.
co-op,
So
right?
basically,
Yeah.
this game is basically a better version of the first game with co-op. That seems to be the gist. If you played the first game, it's just more of that with co-op.
That sounds pretty good.
They, as far as I can tell, there is no like co-op from the ground up mode. You can't say like, "Hey, I want us to be part of the same community." You can only join somebody else's community with characters you already have.
So it's like you're traveling, you're just passing through. You stay
Yeah.
for a little bit, and then you move on.
Like you can get resources and take them back to your base. Like your characters, any XP they gain there comes back with you. But you
Dark
can't.
Souls summoning style? Or Dark
Yes,
Souls 3?
but
Yeah.
you can't make any progress on your base or your story progression in their world. You're just there to help them.
Having played games like Borderlands that had that kind of progression, I think I like the drop in way better.
Yeah.
Because you end up in situations like in I want to say Borderlands specifically, like you would be playing and like 3 of the 4 people you'd be playing with would have a quest available and the 4th one wouldn't, and there was no way to know.
Yeah, sure.
Well, like it ends up adding a lot of complexity that's hard for them to test for and evaluate.
I guess that makes sense. I would have liked to see some kind of co-op only mode though, where you start.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it though, like the characters become fatigued so fast that I don't know that you could have enough characters to support 4 players in the same community.
Oh, so
because
like the person who comes in might play your players?
People are fucking constantly like they're fatigued, or they have a dislocated shoulder, or like a slipped disc, or
so whiny.
or like
This sounds like kind of the opposite of fun to me. Like I don't want
it
to.
is. It is a management sim with
get
with
it,
an
but-
open world action. It's like zombie action game.
Um,
Like it is super hardcore. Like I had a character who fell off a billboard
What?
and took like an hour to heal in my base before I could use her again because she had so many injuries.
Well, I mean, that's pretty fast if you
but
fall off a billboard.
Like I've
An
been
hour?
talking to other people who've been playing it, and like it's also randomized that what you have to worry about is so unique to your playthrough. Like I found a mod for my infirmary in the first like hour of the game that makes injuries heal passively for anybody who's back in the base.
Oh, good.
But like somebody else I was talking to has none of that stuff, so they're super worried about getting meds all the time to heal their people. And I'm like, I don't care.
Are
Like
there difficulty settings?
I don't think so.
It
No.
sounds kind of like XCOM, where you have like an injury to a dude and you'll come back later, but if you have all these other stuff to worry about too,
It is super intense from a time management perspective because like people are constantly radioing you from out in the world, like survivors you haven't
like
met
Dead
before.
Rising. Yeah, it's like,
kind of.
Yeah.
There are factions out there. Like I've got a faction called the Engine Bangers or something like that. They're like way into cars.
Mad Maxy.
They want to set up a car shop, which I assume will get me more car stuff. And you like increase your standing with other factions.
How do you have any idea how like large geographically this world is?
I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. The individual map that I'm on is not huge, but the menu makes it seem like there are 3 different maps. I think the first game had that too. Because the resources do not respawn in this world. Like every location has fixed resources, and once you plunder them, they're gone.
Sure.
Man, so you got to move.
You can build stuff in your base that generates some of those resources, but a lot of the
I bet eventually the end game is
I believe the end game is basically going from map to map, clearing everything out, and then there's so many systems. But this game isn't very hard to talk about in detail. But
that, though.
there are tiers of like citizenship in your community. You go from like outsider to recruit to citizen to hero to leader, I think, and you can only have one leader. And there are archetypes of leader that determines like what type of stuff you get out of their leadership.
Are you playing? So you don't play as a player character. You have.
No, you have a bunch of characters, and they're all disposable. It's all permadeath. So this game makes you make a bunch of decisions that you would not normally make, which feels kind of awesome. Like I have, there's a bunch of specialized skills like medicine and chemistry and automotive or whatever. I met a lady and I did a quest for her, and she's like, "Oh, you guys seem cool. Can I come join your community?" And I looked at her skills, and it was medicine, like was her special skill. I was like, I kind of have 2 doctors already. I don't think we have any more room, and I had to send her packing.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was just like, I have one more slot.
Just another mouth to feed,
like,
man.
we have your skill already. I'm sorry.
That is harsh.
Yeah, it was like, because normally I would be like, yeah, sure, come, just more the merrier. But like, I need other skills in my community. So sorry, lady.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sorry that you spent 10 years in medical school before this zombie apocalypse.
Like everything is on timers. Like the side quests, when people call in for help, like they only last 15 or 20 minutes, and then those missions just disappear. Like
exactly what bugged me about Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 1, where you have to feel like you have to. I get some people the choice there, like, oh, I can only do one of these 2 things. But when Dead Rising 3 had the story mode and just like, hey, do whatever, you'll have time for everything. That was what really made me first like a.
This is not story stuff though. Like
I'm not
that
saying,
game,
but you know what I
these
mean,
are all auto-generated missions, so there's always going to be more stuff popping up. Like you don't have to worry about missing stuff because there's always more.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
that makes a difference.
And like Dead Rising 1 and 2 were about that perfect lap. Like, can you execute well enough
Right.
on the plan?
Like, can you learn
to save
these-
everyone? Can
like-
you learn this loop?
Yeah. And
That
this
you
is all
ground one day.
randomized. It's all more about management. Like
All right,
there are just so many demands on your time and attention. Like infestations can happen around your base, which just means like a concentration of zombies. But the more of those are, the faster they spread, and then they start generating like roving hordes of zombies that are pretty hard. Like you basically, and like people in your base will get pissed if there are too many infestations.
So you have to keep it cleared out. You have to keep the lawn mode,
constantly juggling like resource depletion in your base. People out there calling for help, like infestations popping up
right
around
up my alley.
Like it's crazy how much you have to juggle.
How scarce is the ammo?
I don't really shoot a lot of guns because noise brings zombies.
Are you playing on Xbox or PC?
I played a little bit on Xbox One X and it did not run. It was okay. It was a little choppy, so I switched to PC and it's super smooth.
Wow, really?
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's running at 4K or something, but it was. I mean, it's fine. It's totally playable, but like it runs way better on the PC.
Okay.
Man,
that sounds
it's
good.
cool. Like it is super addicting because there's always more to do.
Yeah.
Like always more facilities to build in your base, always more people to recruit, always more skills to level up.
Do you feel
I
like
love
if
games like that.
the management is progressive, like in a linear, like do you think at the end of the game you're just gonna be overwhelmed, or is it? more
I
just
don't
kind of-
know. So I dug into the tutorial stuff a little bit. So once you promote somebody to leader and then you build out the stuff they want, like the
You can
leader
kind of lead
leader
them.
archetypes are like builder, sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 2 others, and it's like offensive, defensive, like tech stuff like that.
And these determine the skill tree for your town.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
specialized high level stuff you can build based on who your leader is. But from what I saw, once you build all their leadership, then they have a legacy quest that starts, and so that's their kind of long term.
You have to go out,
Like-
you have to recruit Solden. You have to get the Geth guy. and,
pretty much, yes, basically.
You have to
um,
punch that
get your-
reporter.
yeah.
Get your war assets up.
What like how much how's the combat actually?
It's fine. It's
Is it a shooty game or does
I
like
mean, yeah,
sound
you
attract
can,
zombies?
You can get guns and bombs, throwables, and stuff like that, and there are facilities that feed into all that stuff.
Okay.
But again, like noise brings zombies, so I've been mostly doing melee.
It seems
You can
smart.
stealth, you can sneak up behind stuff and kill it, which is good for like screamers and
Can you
stuff
do
like
like
that.
booby traps and stuff? Can you set up
Not
like
that I've
ambushes?
seen. It's mostly just thrown explosives and stuff so
Okay.
far. But
Like, do you think if you were playing with 4 people, you could like have one person gonna run out and rabbit a bunch of zombies towards you and then pull them into a
Probably.
killing field?
yeah, totally. You can
Okay.
just throw bombs at them and stuff like that.
That sounds pretty good.
There's got to be static defense stuff. I assume, like higher up the tech tree.
and is
But they
the
don't expose a lot of the late game tech tree to you. You kind of have to get there.
is the world static? Like, is the world
Uh,
designed or is it?
I believe the maps
generated?
are static, but I'm guessing the resource allocation is random.
Oh, and probably like the enemy spawns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
are
because
random.
most of the houses and like garages and whatever clinics you go in, like it'll pop up a little thing saying like, "Here's the type of resources you'll probably
Ooh,
find
there's
here."
looting.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's all scavenging and looting. But like there are systems and skills tied to literally everything in the game. Like it takes like 10 seconds to search a storage container.
Okay.
But that is a skill you can boost just like everything else, where you can
nice.
make your guys search faster. You can hold down a button while you're searching to do a fast search, but that might make noise and bring a bunch of zombies.
I'm interested.
So
in
like
this.
it's just systems on systems on systems.
So do you
Like, it's
export these
super-
as an XLS or is
Yeah,
this like
basically.
something Google can work through?
Yeah.
I like that you said that when you go to a place, they're not going to start spawning zombies for zombies'
Yeah.
sakes. Like if you do make noise and they come attacking
It
you,
is-
kill the like 6 zombies that
Yeah.
are there, and then you're.
It's the same with like if you find a locked door, you can try to like shoulder bash it down, but that'll make noise. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of choices that you're making. Basically, it's not just like
Do you get experience for each thing that you do?
yeah.
as you do
So
it?
it's like sprinting and climbing, like searching things, fighting.
Shooting
Everything you can think of that you do in the game is boosting some meter.
Oh,
So
and it works like Fallout. So as
Yeah,
you
it
do the
is-
thing, you get better at
it's
the
the
thing.
Bethesda
you do?
thing of
Okay.
doing the thing makes you better at the thing, and then when you fill up those categories, you can then specialize them into higher level versions of them. Like it's crazy how much stuff there is.
Sounds really good.
3 people in a group, or do you
For co-op.
for running around?
Oh, you can have one follower from your base.
Oh, that's
Well,
it? Only 2 people?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought the first one was 3 people.
It may have been. I don't know. Maybe you get that ability later. I don't know. I did find you can, if you find a side mission character out there who wants help, you can also recruit them to do their
Okay.
mission, and so then you have 2 people for a little bit.
Can you switch on the fly?
No, well, so dude, there's so many systems. Like you can take over once you clear a location, you can take it over as an outpost,
Sure.
but that takes a lot of resources, and you can only have like 2 or 3 at a time. But then you can change characters at that outpost. You can access your shared inventory there. Like it saves you trips back. There's so much.
It sounds
detail.
bonkers.
There's so much detail to like the inventory management, all the systems, all the automation in your base, like the character traits. Like it's a lot, but it's super.
Sounds really good.
It's super interesting as you get into it. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
I can't wait to check that out. That
Yeah.
sounds like a good, not mindless, automatic,
Yeah.
automated, like kind of like I can kind of go.
You
on,
can
I feel
always
like I
dip
can
in
kinda
and,
go
in
on
and out of it
autopilot and
because
just-
well, there's just always stuff to do, and it's never like story related. So
Yeah.
you're just sort of making your own choices
Exactly.
about how like you could spend as much time as you want just looting the map and like building shit in your base if you wanted, and just kind of ignore the main missions.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, so it sounds like a lot of the stuff. Like I've been playing a lot of Surviving Mars and Frostpunk lately, which are both kind of the same kind of game. They're the same kind of game, where you have these incredibly deep layered systems, layered on systems, layered on systems, but not in like a Monster Hunter kind of. This is
You have to
incomprehensible
know everything
to me
in order
Yeah.
to fight.
Yeah, like it's more like you can discover it as you play.
You like
and
learn
find new
by
things
doing.
and-
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
That's mostly how this game is.
and it sounds really good.
Can you talk about Frostpunk a little bit?
I would love to talk about Frostpunk a little
I
bit.
would love to hear about Frostpunk. I saw people talking about it. I saw people talking about Into the Breach, and it eventually led to a discussion on Frostpunk. And now I'm curious if I need to get way into Frostpunk.
So if Frostpunk is a city building game set in a post-apocalyptic frozen hellscape.
Okay.
It's old technology with new technology layered on top. So it's like a steampunky kind of robots thing. It doesn't really push the setting on you. It is the most grim. So like Surviving Mars is a game about optimism in the future and like, Elon Musk's vision of colonizing Mars with giant SpaceX robots and all that stuff. This is a dystopian hellscape about the world freezing for reasons that they don't know about, that they don't understand, and figuring out how to survive. And like the resources you manage are basically like food, heat, so fuel, and building materials. And like the questions that you have to answer are it's very kind of Snowpiercer in a lot of ways. Like you have to do things like decide, you find people out in the wilderness and you're like, oh, okay, some of these people are amputees. Do you want to bring them into your town? They're not gonna be able to really contribute. They're just gonna be more mouths to feed.
It's so weird to have to make decisions in games like that.
I
'cause,
didn't.
like,
I just brought everybody in.
That's the thing in
Yeah.
like a Mass Effect or a Bethesda game. I always want to play like the Boy Scout. I
Yeah.
always want to do everything as admirably as you can. But then in these extreme situations, you're like, yeah, you're no good to us. Sorry.
Well, so the interesting thing about Frostpunk is it's the games aren't as long as like a game of Civ or something like that. I played 2 campaigns, I think, at this point, and each one has been maybe 10 or 12 hours at the outside.
Okay.
The city's set up in a circle because your heat source is in the center, is this big furnace thing, and you have to upgrade the tech tree to generate more heat and generate more heat more efficiently and things like that. And you have to accommodate for like the weather changing. So like one day though it'll be 20 degrees below zero, and that's actually a really balmy day. It's good news. It means you can turn the furnace down, you can burn fuel lower. But a lot of it is the kind of thing that I think would make Matt Roy skis out, because it's a lot of like managing rates of coal consumption versus the number of people who are going to get sick and die if you turn the heat too low. And like, can you research the stuff that lets you insulate the houses better so you don't have to use as much heat or stuff like that?
I want my bars to go up instead of down. That's what I want in my games.
So yeah, it's and then on top of all the building stuff, there's like you can send people out into the wilderness to scavenge, because you have to do some scavenging to find. You can set up outposts out there which will feed your main base with whichever resource type it is, whether it's like heat.
That all of that is also in state. These sound very similar.
Yeah, it's I mean, so there's no actual like micro management of the units in this game.
Okay, that is the big difference.
Like
then.
this is more SimCity than Dead Rising.
Yeah.
But you like. It presents you, it's really well written. It presents you with a lot of really challenging ethical choices. And you have to set up like kind of the laws of the town. And it seems like you can go fully fascist dictator, maybe not fully democratic, but like humanist is what I would say probably. And kind of, you can also ride, there's a lot of grays. Like the game is almost all grays. So like you can build robots that will automate a lot of the more dangerous jobs and will keep people from getting amputated. But then you have to figure out something for those people to do.
What's up with all this amputation going on? Like, why is this happening?
Man, it's really cold. People get frostbite.
frostbite,
Negative.
dude.
Look, the warm days are -20. I saw -70 or -80 Celsius days, which is fucking cold.
Yikes.
And then the end of the, like, there's multiple campaigns. The one that I did is basically like, hey, you realize at some point, if you've done the research to realize this, you'll realize that there's some sort of horrible storm coming, and you have to prepare for it. And in order to, like, that means that a lot of your resource production will be completely shut down while that storm is on.
Some people are gonna die.
Yeah, and you have to be able to last for 7 or 8 days. And the game does a really good job. I haven't played enough to know yet, but I'm pretty sure that like it cheats the kind of the, like, things will break if they need to add more tension to the player. And they do a really
fingers on the scale.
They finger that they put their
behind
fingers on the
the
scale
scenes.
in a way that makes the game very tense and very interesting.
Huh.
But yeah, I thought I was really impressed. The music's really good and the writing's really lovely, and
Sounds cool.
It has a lot of knobs and dials to pull.
What's the kind of pick up and play time? Like how quickly can you be?
They onboard you real fast.
Yeah.
And like so I think I played one game and realized I'd made some really core mistakes because I didn't understand some stuff, and just scrapped that one maybe 45 minutes in and started, and I got to the end of the second game.
Okay.
Like it's not if you're good at like management-y games, if you've played some Paradox games, or if you've played like what's the city builder that came out last year? Skylines, or 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah, if you built a big city in Skylines and figured out how to manage that stuff, you'll be able to handle
a fair
this.
amount of that.
Yeah. And it's like you'll know within an hour or so whether you're gonna enjoy it or not. It is. I was depressed. Like I played They Are Billions. That was a kind of a little bit depressing game. This is a real fucking depressing game.
Like, this is the type of game where there is no like complete victory. There's only like mitigating disaster and loss.
At one point, this is a straight up Snowpiercer thing.
No perfect run.
It was like everybody, you have 500 people in your town. Everybody's going to die unless you sacrifice one of the smallest people in your town to go in and do some horrible shit.
Ooh,
And
okay.
you're like, well, I guess that's how it's going to go.
Wow.
That was the classic Commander Troy episode of Star Trek where she sends Geordi off in the hollow thing. What are you talking about? I haven't seen Snowpiercer, so
Yeah.
I'm just trying to relate your story to my.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. I'm going to go, I'll play some more.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something I haven't seen before. PUBG, there's been some PUBG changes. If you want to talk about that.
Still playing
Are
quite a
those
bit?
out on the
Every
main
night.
server? The big
So
new patch?
so the new Sanuk Savage, the small map, isn't out on main server yet, but they did another round of testing this week. And I think I didn't play a ton because I was kind of busy this weekend, but it seems like I didn't see any gray box architecture. They've like dressed the sets. Like when you go into the rooms, there's tables.
Okay.
They've done the small stuff like fixed the squeaky doors, which were maddening, and like they've made the interior doors and the exterior doors look different now, so you can tell which ones are going to open outside from the inside, stuff like that.
I heard you can throw apples.
You can throw apples in the lobby.
What?
The pace, like, it was funny. I was watching when they opened it up last week. I watched some of the kind of the good streamers playing, like the people who are super duper good.
Yeah.
And like they were just getting wrecked because it's so fast compared to normal PUBG that like you can't, if you run around with an AR out, with an automatic assault rifle out, you're not going to be able to hit the people that are going to pop up out of bushes at you fast enough. And like when they started shifting to SMGs, then they were suddenly getting competitive.
Okay.
It's almost a complete. It's as different a game from the original map as Miramar was in terms of pacing in the other direction.
That's good.
So it's really good.
Good.
Yeah. And then they also did a bunch of ballistics changes. So they rebalanced the assault rifles and the DMRs, which are like the semi-automatic sniper rifles. So the SKS and the VSS and the new one, which is the Mini 14 and the SLR. So now there's actually everything's pretty good these days. You want to have specific attachments for specific loadouts. They added new forward grips so that there's some that do horizontal sway, some that do recoil bounce back, some that minimize recoil going up.
Sure.
There's all sorts of different options. You can kind of pick something that fits your play style.
Right.
But they changed the ballistics on the DMRs so that they're less lobby. They're less like the ARs, so they're more straight shots at longer ranges, which makes sense because they're sniper rifles.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's been really fun. It's good for the game. It's like it had gotten at the high end, it had gotten kind of stagnant where everybody was like looking for an M4 and a Car 98, and now you see people like rolling with AKs and scars and the whole thing.
I remember on the blog post they said like now our goal was to make it so there is no best any weapon. Yeah. Like it's situational. It's more to your play style.
Does that mean you just straight up don't have to worry about stuff like zeroing distance as much as you did?
They have, so I think that's still in the UI. All the scopes are right now so that you can use the markings in the scope to do your ranging.
Wow. Okay.
Rather than, and I don't think, most of the scopes, I don't think that hitting the zeroing keys do anything anymore.
Huh. Wow.
It's like, look, the scopes, like once you know how the scopes work, it's super easy. Cause like when you have like a triangle, the tip of the triangle is out to 100 or 200 meters, depending on the gun. And then if you put the head underneath the crotch of the triangle, then that's the next step out.
Okay.
And then the next little hash is like double that distance. So you can kind of like, you're just looking, you take a ranging shot and then you kind of adjust from there and it gives you a point of reference for the next shots.
Okay. Yeah, like I never wanted to put the time in to get a feel for the bullet drop stuff, so I found myself just avoiding sniper rifles altogether instead. So that sounds good.
I never had any practical experience till I started playing like war mode, and then once I did that, I started testing out the sniper rifle. In fact, I really like the VSS. So hearing these changes is really exciting.
Yeah, well, and the other thing that they changed is that all of the AR mags and attachments will work on the DMRs.
Oh,
so like if you like the VSS, then that means you can take like sniper mags were rare.
Yeah.
But extended mags for rifles are common, so you can now put an extended mag for a rifle on the VSS, and you get 20 rounds. It is a super good change. It's changed the meta once again.
That's good.
And they made shotguns good again, which was nice.
That's appealing. Didn't they like buff pistols a bunch or something?
Pistols kind of stayed the same, but everything like
trickled down.
The pistol is not a death sentence early game anymore.
Okay.
Like the shotgun's not a death sentence early game anymore. They've made good changes.
Excellent.
Okay, like it's the other thing that's changed is that they're doing daily or twice daily cheater patches now. Either changing encryption or something. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but like they're dumping 25 megabyte patches at least once a day. And we haven't seen cheaters in weeks at this point.
Like at all?
I don't play third person much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't even seen anybody that was like, this is, I take it back. The last game of the night last night, I saw somebody that was maybe a questionable aimbot, but that's the first one I've seen since probably March.
I tried first person several times.
We played first person.
Yeah,
yeah,
right. I just
it's a little bit of an on ramp.
yeah, the movement just does not click with me.
It's
got that momentum to it
Yeah.
that a first person game should not have.
like
You continue walking after you let off the walk.
when you can still see your feet and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the thing that it feels so much faster now when you go back to third person after playing a lot of first person. It feels like you're playing a slow game. Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
sure. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
You can get used to anything. But
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of war mode and have been making. We did a custom last weekend where I made everybody go out and get motorcycles, and we went into one of those Circle of Death bowls in the Miramar map, and got as many 25 motorcycles circling in the bowl.
Okay.
And the last person standing won. It was good.
That sounds fun.
That sounds really fun. I wish they kept ramping up with those special like weekend modes because they haven't done one.
Well, they didn't do one
since-
last weekend because they did the small map test last
Yeah.
weekend. The weekend before they did the big game, like the
I missed that
overpower
one.
crates. So it was like everybody spawned with crate weapons in war mode, but they were the teams were too big for servers or something. I don't know what happened, but they turned it off after like a day and a half.
Okay.
How's Thanos? Really powerful?
That's the other one.
Oh.
That's the Minecraft game.
Whoa.
That's by
Shots
Minecraft
fired.
game. Do you mean incredibly super popular, and
Incredibly
making billions
successful,
of dollars?
making billions of dollars.
Yeah, you know what else is popular? I don't
Crack?
I don't have an answer for that.
So I've been playing. I've tried some Fortnite. I'm interested. I need somebody who's good at Fortnite.
You're looking at me.
I'm looking at you because okay. I'll go. I have other people.
I would love to play some Fortnite with you. I'm not good at it.
It's like the thing I realized that I like about PUBG that I don't as much like about Fortnite is like I now that I am good at the ballistics model, I like playing games with ballistics model because it's really satisfying, and the hit scan weapons. It's more of a Twitch game, and I'm not as good at a Twitch game.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm too old.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Too damn old.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where I didn't really start to have fun with it until I got at least a little bit competent with the building. Like
Yeah.
that's really what takes it from just like another one of those hit scam games.
Yeah, it's a hit scam, all right.
To something that's unique in a way that I feel like has weird mass appeal. It's still so crazy. Like hearing every day, I feel like I hear another Fortnite story of another celebrity or another sports.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon was
athlete.
tweeting last week about playing Fortnite with the kids.
Ugh.
No, she was retweeting somebody and she said, "What the heck? It's Fortnite." That was her question. I read that tweet.
Mark Cuban talking about getting hit by boogie bombs.
I feel like they bound the build keys to the wrong buttons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The first thing I did was like look up a popular streamer's buttons.
Yeah, I need.
and
That's what
remap
I
my
need. That's
things
where I need to
completely.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough game. It's like PUBG was a hard onboard, but those first games were so tense.
Hard.
Yeah, I see you.
Get that hard onboard.
Now we finally have a podcast title.
Yeah, those first games were so tense that like I kind of wanted to keep playing despite that because it was like it made me feel things I'd never felt before. And Fortnite kind of didn't like. It's fun. I get it.
Fortnite to me is
boner for attention. Like I just want to play easy listening games.
I get what you mean. Like, what was it? I think somebody during Game of the Year described PUBG as a horror game.
It's
Like they turned a first-person shooter into a horror game because it's fucking terrifying.
The scariest thing I've ever seen in a video game, having played like Fatal Frame games and shit that's legit scary, was the first person I saw in PUBG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those tense moments when you're hiding out and
Totally.
stuff happens.
especially when you're like with some people and they're all looking out.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what it is about Fortnite, if it's the cartoony style or if it's just that it's so over the top and kind of
it's the
explosive.
dabbing. You can say it's the dabbing.
Yeah, obviously the disco balls.
You
and
can
such.
dab in PUBG though.
Oh.
Like when you're on the parachute going down and
Yeah,
you straight right, you can kind of do
like
a
you dab.
partial
That
dab.
is true.
It seems like you can just kind of see people coming from farther away in that game, or it's less of a
Yes.
surprise when people. I mean, you could
It's
still be.
it's closer fights.
Yeah,
Like Like,
and
yeah.
when you see somebody coming, that's not a death sentence. You just start building.
Right.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
different. Same genre, different vibe.
Yeah,
It's
There's
easier.
room for two.
I think there's room for more.
I feel like Fortnite is easier to like just keep playing. Like in terms of like I want to get in,
Yeah.
shoot some guys, die, get in, shoot some guys, die.
Yeah.
Whereas PUBG is like, okay, I'm playing a game of PUBG. I gotta, at least for me, it's like, okay, I gotta remember, I gotta be very careful. I gotta do a lot of reconnaissance. I gotta like make sure I'm geared up to a degree.
PUBG can be kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
Like you play like 2 to 4 matches, and they're like, I think I'm good
Yeah,
for today.
I play 4 hours every night, and I'm strung out at the end of 4 hours.
Really?
I usually start around 8 and go until
4
midnight.
hours?
This seems like it's a pretty good segue.
Man,
I like PUBG.
it's
very good.
Okay.
Speaking of 4 hours a night.
Uh-oh.
What's happening 4 hours a night?
Okay, it's this time of the year,
Uh-oh.
everyone. We gotta talk about Dota.
Oh God!
I
you
want you
didn't
to
tell me this is gonna be a Dota podcast.
I want you to know I did not sanction this. He is off the reservation.
Dota.
I haven't
okay.
played Dota in 6 or 8 months.
It's okay. It's that time of the year. It's the first real run up to the international. Valve has launched the Battle Pass. I'm gonna keep this short, everyone. I promise. So Valve
Dota
launched the
minute.
Battle Pass.
Battle piss.
Now we got a podcast title.
Yeah, get that cat.
And it stinks. No.
Asparagus, huh?
So if you think back to Dota Plus, they were very keen to kind of use language where it's like, this is replacing our seasonal.
So that was the thing when
Battle
I heard there was a battle
passes.
pass. I was like, wait, I thought that was what Dota Plus was for. Why is there also this? But
So, they needed this because this is their big way to get people to spend money on it and funnel that money, of course, back into Valve, but also into the international prize
right,
pool.
the prize pool. Yeah.
I think it's like at $6 million right now.
Doesn't it usually top out
20
over 20?
Yeah, every year it's been like a little bit more
Yeah.
than the last year. So right away, I loaded up the Battle Pass. I was like, great, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy some levels.
You
How
still
much is
play
it?
Dota, Ben?
I do.
Okay.
Is it still $10 or?
It is for the base Battle Pass. It is. I just have it up here. There was the $10 for a base one, and then you could also get like one with
The
some levels
extra
bundled
levels,
in. For $35, I think, for 100 levels or something. The way they've done it this year compared to previous years is
Don't hit the table. That's what Brad always warns me. Don't hit the table.
Oh.
Don't tap.
I
too hard.
don't think that was not a Matt Rory banging the table.
I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
on my hands. It's the way they've handled it this year seems just extra greedy, extra slimy. So the way the Battle Pass works in the grand scheme is you've got levels, and as you do stuff.
Like play the game or spend money?
So previously, as you play the game, you're unlocking levels along a tier. You're getting different upgrades, and those upgrades can include like treasures, cosmetics, voice lines.
Spins of a roulette wheel.
Spins of a roulette wheel. There's always a seasonal effect. This year it's green is like the kind of color scheme, so it'll be like teleports.
I was going to say literally, but you need figuratively green if they're looking for that cash money.
Yeah.
Sorry, bad joke. I apologize.
So in the past, you could just play the game and you'd get some battle points if you won. There'd also be daily and weekly challenges like stun a hero 30 times, or apply 60 seconds of slow over the course of whatever games.
So Chivos.
Yes, they've gotten rid of those.
Oh,
so now
really?
there are a couple ways still to gain levels organically.
Huh. That was like the thing that I did in the Battle Pass.
So they did after some complaining from Reddit, they did bring back the daily and weekly achievements from last year. They literally brought back the ones from last year because I guess they were just like, okay, we need to dig through our files and add something.
Aren't those mostly just like win with a specific hero and stuff?
It's more of like, there are daily hero challenges and the like, but the kind of the only good thing I would say that's come from this is. So the best way to gain levels right now is something called Cavern Crawl, and it's basically split up into 3 tiers. There's like, carry, support, and other. And as you play, you have to win with different heroes, and as you progress, there's like a mythical set at the end of each path, like one for a support, one for a carry, one for a mid. People found out really quick that the turbo wins count for the Cavern Crawl.
Huh.
So the meta right now of Dota,
What's a turbo man?
Turbo Dota is purported to be Dota in half the time. So you get increased gold, increased experience. Towers are weaker. Just kind of the creeps give you more gold.
Sure.
You get more passive gold. Items are the same price, but you're coming out with like a lot of money. It's just it's 15-minute Dota matches where nobody knows how to play the hero they're playing because you're being forced into all these different heroes through the cavern
boy.
crawl just to get points. And it's honestly really fun because it's just 10 people playing
It's just a mess.
hyper Dota that don't know how to play their heroes at all. Like you have a couple people who kind of know, like okay, I need to carry this game, so I'm gonna pick one of my 4 heroes that I actually know how to play. And it's really fun, and it's actually working out great because Dota is back now at the #1 spot on Steam. It passed PUBG
Wow.
for the first time since
like a year.
PUBG came
Yeah.
out.
Jeez, yeah, huh?
Which is, I mean, PUBG is obviously feeling a little bit of, I don't want to say like decrease, but
I would say they're paying attention to the community more.
yeah,
I think they're feeling tension about Fortnite and Dota and all the other stuff that's going on, and they're channeling it into at least on the non-monetization aspects of the game into good stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're making good changes.
totally. And the community is really appreciating that, but they are suffering some drop off. And Dota is back on top for what it's worth. And I just think that the biggest bummer about this is the quality of all the items, the quality of the stuff that is in the battle pass is really good. You can tell that the people at Valve who still love Dota are really pouring their heart into this. The big bummer is just that it's harder to get the items. Like they brought back everything from last year, all the voice lines and stuff like that, but they're usually like double the number of levels that they were last year, and you earn levels more slowly. So it's just
you pay for them.
unless you pay for them. So yeah, just across the board, it's really a bummer. They added a Pinoy caster voice pack because people were, the Philippines is one of the most blossoming Dota scenes right now. There's a lot of talent coming out of there. There's a lot of casters coming out of there. It's behind level 1,007, which is approximately $500.
Wow.
If you wanted to just buy the
Jeez,
lore.
How many
that's
hours?
Crazy.
Well, that's the thing. It's a certain number of hours, but once you're through that cavern crawl and once you're through those achievements that are linear, like they don't recycle, you're only going to get a couple hundred levels out of that stuff organically. At least at the point.
The
that it is
leveling
right
in
now.
Oh, so
things
you
is
can't
incredibly
level your
slow.
way all the way up through it anymore if you spend infinite time?
Nope. You don't get points anymore for just completing games, which was the case previously.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wait, you literally cannot grind the levels anymore.
At this
They must
point,
be worried about not making bankroll
that's
for the tournament.
Oh yeah, that's always been the thing with that player-funded prize pool.
Yeah.
To me, was like, you guys are going to hit the drop off at some point, and it's not going to look good for the health of this game.
The 1 year, the 1 year where the prize pool is less than the previous year, that's a big red flag. There are 2 more modes coming. They are doing another iteration of that single player campaign that they did last year. They're doing a battle royale mode, and they might be battle points in those modes you can get somehow.
Those modes never did it for me. They always feel just a little too slapped together.
Yeah, the single player one last year, people were so excited for it, but it was like a bad Diablo.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Take this as just people talking on Reddit, but the general consensus this year seems to be a lot of disappointment.
That sucks.
And there was definitely an audience for people who wanted a good battle pass. There were a lot of people who were like, I'm ready to give Valve like $35 for the base and some bonus levels.
And then all the
get
stuff that
some-
it added was fun to play. Like all
Yeah.
those achievements and challenges were fun to go after.
Totally. And the cavern crawl, playing on turbo, playing heroes I'm unfamiliar with is fun. Like I'm learning I like a few heroes that I never would have even considered playing before. But it's just I honestly regret I just immediately went in and bought some levels because I didn't look, I didn't take my time, I didn't do the research and see that you can't get the levels organically. You can't, I would have totally tried to vote with my dollar on this one. I'm not buying any more levels. It is a bummer to see because, between Dota Plus having issues since its rollout and this now, it seems like Dota's not getting the attention it deserves.
Hey man, Valve's got a card game to make. They know where the money is.
Well, I mean, it's tough. It has to be tough balancing like the financial needs of something as big as Dota or PUBG for that matter. Like I feel like a lot of times developers make decisions based on what they think people want versus what people actually want. And I mean, the PUBG thing is a good example. Like, I saw when I first started playing PUBG and I saw like them putting goofy battle royale costumes in from the movie. I was like, oh, they want to make this an action movie game, but I think they want to make it a military sim game that just where you wear action movie clothes.
Yeah.
And like it seems like Dota's kind of in the same like it's good that they're trying to get people to play new characters, new heroes, because that's good for the game.
Totally.
But the other stuff is maybe not great.
Yeah, when they rolled out Dota Plus, somebody on the Dota subreddit listed a really good breakdown. It was somebody who worked in the games industry about like, here's how free-to-play games typically go. Like, there's this lifespan where you're gaining users, and then once you've stopped gaining users, you basically just have to try and milk everyone you have for what they're worth.
Blood from a turnip phase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is where we are in Dota. Dota's not growing. It's not drastically shrinking, but it's not growing.
Yeah.
So they've shifted into kind of a, not necessarily damage control mode, but more of a, well, the game's just not what it used to be.
How much bigger is League of Legends now? It's still bigger, I know, but
It's still bigger, but I know they're having issues too with new players and audience retention.
Yeah, I have to imagine they start looking at ways like things like the battle pass as ways to get people to come, turbo as ways to get people to come back and play the game again that you used to play and stuff like that.
My friends list is like chock full. I'm part of like 4 more Dota discords just from this last week of playing with different people. Like, the game is getting people back, and hopefully that does encourage Valve to do some more nice things for the community. I mean, there's even been issues within like Cavern Crawl wins just didn't work for 6 hours yesterday. Like, they weren't registering in the mini game for whatever reason. They rolled out a patch that fixed that, but you know, a lot of people played a lot of those games during that time, and they just don't really get anything for it.
Well, I mean, they had fun.
Yeah,
this is a little long in the tooth at this point.
yeah.
You know, League is almost 10 years old. I think that came out in like what, 09, I think.
I only
Like,
played
Dota-
Defense of the Ancients myself.
That's right.
I don't even go back to
There is still a
This is
thriving, very small, very tight knit
those people
Warcraft.
are
very, very dedicated.
What if
Very
they-
charming folks.
Has Warcraft 3 remake ever been one of those Blizzard rumors? I know Diablo 2 was the big rumor about them going back
Oh.
HD.
I think every
an
old
HD
game they
remake
make has
of-
been rumored at one point or another.
If Warcraft 3 ever does come out, do you think they'll ever just throw in Defense of the Ancients?
Well, and somebody could
as-
just make it.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
But as an official like battle
May
net
just
products,
I forget how that legal battle
No.
shook out.
they can't call
Well,
it
they
Defense
can
of the
call it Dota.
I think
Valve can't.
Valve can call
Valve can call it Dota.
No,
they can't
Valve
call it
can
Defense
call
of
it
the
Dota.
Ancients.
they can't call it Defense of the
Ancients.
Ancients. That's right.
But the guy who made Defense of the Ancients went to Valve to make Dota 2.
Ice Frog, yeah.
Yeah, well, he,
Well,
he
one of the
didn't
guys.
he didn't create it. He had taken it over. But
Yeah.
yes, he is the guy.
Wait, who did create it then? Is that guy ever like
That's,
looking?
dude, that
where's
is
my
such a
check?
deep
There's-
rabbit hole,
yeah.
and there are so many
A couple of the guys who are
disagreements
at League now were a part of the original team.
I have seen
Pendragon.
yeah, Pendragon and Ginsu. isn't-
Ginsu,
like
yeah.
I feel like I have seen multiple people pitch themselves as the creator of Dota.
Sure.
I would love. I spent a long time over the weekend just thinking about Ice Frog, like not necessarily
as one does.
as a Dota fan does, because this man has been balancing Dota for what 15
A long time.
years.
Is he still at Valve?
He
Oh yeah.
so that's yeah. You know, there's going to be rumors.
I always heard the early
always.
rumor I heard is that he went to Dota was not.
Went
I
to
probably
Valve.
shouldn't. I heard he was kind of. The production I heard early on was pretty rough. People weren't super happy, and it got kind of like Valve kind of took it more over.
So
But these
yeah,
are ancient rumors that I heard.
yeah. I mean, there's always going to be rumors.
He's
but
not a very public.
No,
No,
he's like
it's
incredibly secretive.
you can dig around, and there's some like probable, like it's probably this guy,
Like,
or
you
maybe
can
this
probably
guy.
find his name now, but only because like he effectively got doxxed a year or two
yeah,
ago.
some
like,
LinkedIn thing.
prior
led
prior to some
His
drama.
name is Satoshi.
Wait, really? He was
Yeah.
it was Satoshi Nakamoto.
prior to some shitty drama that went down, like you didn't even know his name.
No,
like, he
or
is
like what
incredibly-
country he was
or what he
from,
looks
or
like. He's
anything
super
about him.
secretive.
But I just like
he was the true
Don't
player
call
unknown.
him. Don't call him.
don't call him. He's just been balancing this, and he does a tremendous job of it. Like every patch feels fresh. Like
Yeah, they make changes to that game in a way that a lot of games are afraid to.
It's not necessarily always buffing and nerfing too. Like they will completely rework
Like
a hero
massive
just
changes.
for the fun of it. They'll and then like even like little things like like every other patch it seems they remove a tree on the map. And it totally like it might not affect you every game, but if it affects you 1 out of every 100 games, it's just another thing you have to worry about. So I wonder, does he like just balance games for fun and his fair time? Like, does he play Street Fighter and be like, oh, I would change this? Because the man obviously has a knack for game balance.
I went through. I think Austin linked a old Raph Koster blog post from like the Ultima Online days a few months ago in a chat that we're in. And I went through and read some of his old blog posts about balancing UO and then later, I guess, Star Wars Galaxies and like how they approached that and like whether they were trying to make everybody equal or trying to make like use their balance changes to push the meta in directions that they wanted the game to go or they thought the game would be more interesting or fun for players.
It's like it basically comes down to, do you want people who are less powerful to have a bad time, right?
Well, there's a
Do you
lot of
want
that.
people to get utterly destroyed by people who put more time into the game.
And that was kind of their approach in UO. Like their approach in UO is if you spend 40 hours a week and somebody spends 10 hours a week, you should clearly defeat the person who spends 10 hours a week if you play 40 hours a week. But then with Galaxies, they tried to make it more equitable because they had a larger player base and they needed, like they wanted to have a larger player. I don't know if they ever did. They wanted to have a larger player base and a less kind of hardcore player base. And they were balancing that to keep it more, make it fair. Which was a different value of fair, but fair nonetheless. And it's an interesting theory. And like it seems to me like Dota, they kind of balance to push the meta in directions like that underused heroes get used more and stuff like that.
Or like shorter game. Like
Yeah.
there's been a big push towards actually longer games lately. But yeah, just by balancing how gold works and stuff like that, you can just little tweaks over time that just completely change the meta game.
So many spreadsheet changes.
A lot of complicated games this week.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about Surviving Mars. That is a complicated game. It is very good. If you like paradox games, play Surviving Mars.
A lot of systems to deal with.
A lot
Talk
of
about
systems.
Opus Magnum.
Not played Opus Magnum.
It's one of those
Crusader Kings.
complicated.
Can't do any more systems. We have to take a break. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you in part by Discord. Did you know that Discord is the best place for people to come together around games?
I do now. What are games though?
I don't know.
Huh?
Like a Parcheesi.
What is game?
Like a backgammon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bridge?
Bridge? Heck yeah, that's a game.
No.
Also a game.
Okay. I might like games. It turns out.
Weird. Okay, I would not have guessed, but I'll go with that. Discord, you can get people together around really any subject. Get together and talk, whether that's via voice, whether that's via text. You can send funny images to each other, all on your own custom server.
Memes?
I don't know what those are.
Okay.
Are those like games? It's like backgammon?
Sure. Yes.
Show me the fresh backgammon memes.
Okay.
Discord can be used for voice, its community forums, video chat, screen sharing, all that stuff. You can go to, and get a pencil, you can go to dis.gd/giantbomb on your PC to download today.
Oh.
I hope you wrote it down.
What? One more time?
dis.gd/giantbomb.
Got it.
Yeah, head over there, learn about it. It's called Discord.
Maybe get social.
Maybe get
for
social.
once in your life.
But social on your terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to look at
Lock it down.
I mean, I guess you could look at them
Two-factor.
if you wanted.
Only talk to the people you want to talk to.
Yeah. That's right.
With Discord.
And we're back. Thanks to the intrepid problem solving of one Jan Ochoa.
Yes. Quick apologies to all of you guys watching live that VMix is... Ben and I talk about ghosts in the control room for like a minute, and then everything just appears to be haunted. But
They get angry when you talk about them like that.
you're right. If you acknowledge them,
Yeah.
they take form and just mess with all of your tech stuff.
Yeah.
But I think things are okay now.
I mean, unfortunately, our VMix machine was built over an old burial ground, so...
It's actually like
spirits.
slightly perched on an old briefcase that who knows the former contents of said briefcase. But
That is
That
mysterious.
briefcase belonged to Patrick Swayze.
but that's what I've been playing.
All right, VMix.
Yes.
It's always a
It's a
yeah,
journey.
It's a heck of a challenge, I understand.
Preferred to emails, probably.
Yeah, totally. I just talk to myself when I have to fix this.
Matt Rory, have you played anything you want to talk about? I know you've been deep in support land.
I have been for a while now. I've been playing the Horizon Zero
DLC?
Dawn DLC
Yeah.
called the Frozen Wild for
Yeah.
a little bit. I kind of went to God of War for a little bit. I started that up, but I haven't had a huge amount of time to play anything. And then for some reason, last Thursday, right in the middle of busy time, I got this weird inkling to play Metal Gear Solid 5. So I started it up, and I realized that the beginning of the game is much different than the end of the game. But so the fact that it loops around. Do you remember the fire whale?
Oh yeah.
The fire whale coming up out of nowhere and eating a helicopter?
No.
Yeah, I didn't remember that either.
I
Because
know. When does that happen?
right in the beginning, when the fire dude, the little girl with the
Vulcan.
gas mask on,
Yes.
there's a helicopter about to shoot you. and
Okay.
then just
Like,
comes
is that
around.
like during the escape from the?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a sperm whale made of fire
Right.
coming up out of
Okay.
nowhere eating a helicopter?
Sure.
How long is I never.
If you go back to the beginning, I was really
Yeah.
worried about that long ass helicopter, the hospital sequence. You can skip a lot of the cutscenes, even like the stuff that goes right into gameplay is considered a cutscene. So I skipped through almost all that. And I got about 2 hours in, and I did the first mission, and I stopped. And apart from that, yeah, haven't played much. I would like to be playing. I think we talked a little bit. I don't know if you have ever talked about Pillars of Eternity 2, but
No.
just have not. I have not had time to finish one of those top-down isometric RPGs in a long time. So at this point, I'm kind of that'll have to come probably after E3.
Those things are a time sink.
They
Yeah,
are.
which is the biggest reason that I think not
I've just heard people spending
most of us don't play those games
Yeah.
much because they are just incredibly time consuming.
I've heard a lot about this game. People seem to really, really like it. Hopefully I'll get a chance to try it out. But I also hear like, oh, I spent like 45 minutes on the character creation. Like,
Yeah, totally. Like you,
so-
you see
Yeah.
like you see a lot of stories, like a lot of written previews and so forth of like, the first 2 hours of blank or the first 5 hours. I saw a
Yeah,
headline for
God.
Pillars yesterday. The first 50 hours of Pillars of Eternity 2.
Those
I
are
did that
the,
for Dark Souls.
Dude.
are those the Baldur's Gate, like
Yeah.
the
Yes.
spiritual
Yeah,
successors?
Infin-
kind of?
Infinity Engine
Yeah.
type stuff.
Yeah, they're top down, but they're all a new rule set. So when I played Pillars of Eternity, and I guess fair disclosure, I used to work at Obsidian, who makes these games. I played about 20 to 25 hours of it, and I was still trying to figure out all the, because I'm used to D20, Dungeons and Dragons. Anything beyond that, I didn't quite feel as intuitive as I would have liked it to have been. So what I hear from this one is like multi-classing. You can do all kinds of crazy shit with your characters and do whatever you want. It just sounded pretty complicated. I'm a little tight on money because we just bought plane tickets for our vacation in October. So I might get to it at some point. But I've had a few people ask if I've been playing it. And I unfortunately have not had time.
Yeah, we had people write into the podcast saying like, "Hey, where's the Pillars coverage? Why aren't you guys playing on that?"
Just-
It's mostly just that
Hey.
with a bunch of other games to play,
Yeah.
those are very intimidating to get into.
Sales stuff, and then E3's coming up and everything like
yeah,
that. And I
E3 planning like
it
that is a
doesn't run on my laptop.
we
So
can't devote multiple evenings to a game like that,
yeah,
unfortunately.
so I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know. I don't have time for it right now.
All right. Shall we read some emails? Man, I guess according to the music, we're going to read some emails. There is no choice here.
First time in the show, we're
Yeah.
reading emails.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com. We already read this Rage 2, Mad Max 2 thing.
Oops.
Kind of touched on this one already, but I'll read it anyway. Will from Virginia.
Hi, good name,
Oh, yeah, right.
Will from Virginia.
fine state.
It's a good name.
It's okay.
It says your
Look,
name
it's
and
the
where you're from.
Future tense of the be verb. It's the perfect name. There's no better name than Will. That's what I say.
What about William?
No, it's garbage.
This weekend,
Shaving cream.
I installed Fortnite for the third time in an attempt to finally get it, as it's a game that should theoretically check all of the boxes for me. After 4 matches of getting destroyed almost instantly or having what I assume to be a 12-year-old with countless shortcut keys on their mouse build a fortified defense to kill me while I struggle to line up a wall and a staircase, I, 6 months shy of 30, finally just muttered to myself, "I'm too old for this shit," logged off, then remembered to transfer some money to my IRA like a responsible adult. I can play fast-paced games like Overwatch just fine, even competently, but there's just something about the frantic nature of building these large structures while trying to hide and shoot at the same time that my ancient millennial mind just can't process. So my question to you is,
Those
what was
ancient millennials?
right? What was the first game that made you realize that you're mortal and death will come for you sooner or later?
Counter Strike.
Really? When it was new, or
When it
more
was
recently?
new, yeah, no.
Really?
When it was, so I lived.
Like, that was right in my wheelhouse when that got big.
You're a little bit younger than
Yes,
I am.
yes.
I bought a house. I lived in Tennessee still at that time, and I had set up
Wait,
a
you were a
LAN.
homeowner before Counter Strike came out?
I was a homeowner. Well, I bought a house that needed
what do
some
you mean
work. I bought a house for
buy?
$55,000 in Northeast Tennessee.
Okay.
I don't
yeah.
It's a
understand.
little bit cheaper there.
Sound like
Yeah.
roughly Northeast
What are
Tennessee
you
prices.
I don't understand.
So you know the place that you live, Ben?
the apartment.
In
Yeah.
other parts of the
You-
country.
You give a person money to live there every month.
Yeah,
right?
the landlord who
Yeah, so-
owns all the properties.
So if you live someplace that's not the Bay Area, then you can be the person that gets that money. And then instead of you giving the money to a person, you give the money to a bank who owns the property. But you're like renting to own.
yes, I trust banks.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
It's like rent to own for houses. It's a great
Oh,
deal.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
They should do that. They should market that towards
So it's a good idea.
me and my.
Your generation, they know you're a lost cause. They're going to go for the ones after you.
This podcast got dark.
So yeah, late stage capitalism and Counter Strike. I
There's your podcast title.
I had a LAN, and the next door neighbors had a 12-year-old kid, and I was friends with the dad, and he was like, "Oh, you're like computer games. My son likes computer games. He plays this thing called Counter Strike." And I was like, "Oh, I play Counter Strike too. I have a LAN. We can even play with each other sometimes." So he came over to the house, fucking took me apart. And I was like, "Okay, that's it. I'm old. Done.
Time to
25 years old."
Time to move on to turn-based
Yep.
strategy.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say that you ran an Ethernet cable through your windows from one house to the next,
And put
or
a
something like that.
styrofoam cup on either end so they
Yeah.
can talk to each other.
There you go.
He didn't have a network card because they were $300 back then.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I had one because I got it for $10 from the university.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You know, I mostly play single player games, so I can't say that I've ever really gotten into a multiplayer thing and got destroyed like some of these stories are probably gonna go. I will say the first time I played Pokemon was like on 3DS or DS or something.
I
Yeah,
know
same
that, yeah.
for
10
me.
or 15 years after they came out, and I just did not get it. And it was like it didn't make me feel old. I just didn't have any of the references to why this should be compelling at all. And that was one where I just think I didn't get on the ground floor, and by the time I got to it, it was just like I have no idea why.
Well, it's a game about friendship and having a
And
great time. So I
slaving
can see
monsters.
why
I like-
it would
I
not
like
appeal to you.
RPGs and I like all that kind of stuff, but that especially was just I got like an hour in, like, is this the way it goes for the rest of the game?
Yep.
No offense to anybody who likes Pokemon, but it seemed
They're just bad people. We know what you're saying, Rory.
that would be the big one. But when I play FPSs online, I still kind of hold my own. I'm not quite as Twitch. There was something a couple years ago that really didn't click because I felt like my reflexes were a little too slow. But
I thought I was done with online first-person shooters until PUBG came out.
Mhm.
I thought I was like too old for that.
sure.
I just needed something a little more tactical.
I think it's Fortnite for me.
Yeah,
I haven't
honestly.
really had it.
I don't know what it is, but I find myself
Watch
getting
out, Ben.
Yeah, I know.
There's gonna be some
I'm-
sort of
I'm
new
excited.
super MOBA come out that's
Oh,
like
Dota 3.
it's like a super turbo Dota, and it'll be a Dota round in 4 minutes. And you'll be like, "This is too fucking fast."
You know, maybe it's Dragon Ball Fighters to an extent because that is a game where I was like, okay, I've played Marvel, I've played these, I played Anime Fighters, I can start doing it, and I would just hit this skill ceiling on the combos and stuff, and be like, maybe I'm just too old for these fighting games, these like hypermanic fighting games.
The
I need to go
game
back
is a lot to follow.
Yeah.
Just visually, it is a lot of information to take in very fast.
Fortnite, Brad.
Yeah, I don't know. I find myself getting irrationally annoyed by it for no good reason.
A lot of that happening
These damn
with
kids
that
and their
game
shotgun
around here.
towers.
You think?
Yeah.
Am I not the only one?
I think I don't know. People give it a hard time because it's popular. I understand. Like the person who emailed in gave it some honest shots, which
Yeah.
I appreciate.
I have
but-
no problem with the game itself. I don't know. The big one for me, I think, is just how fast it came out after PUBG blew up and how similar it was right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say maybe going back to the question or what we're just talking about, like these top-down isometric 80-hour-long RPGs. I've played a bunch of them the last few years. Tyranny, Pillars, a Torment, and for whatever reason, I just look at that. Like I've made this much progress in like 5 to 10 hours. I know there's still
You have a
80
long
to
ladder,
go.
yeah.
I feel like I'm just at the point where I don't have time in my life to get through them,
Yeah.
and maybe that's not me being too old for them. It's just like I love those games when I was growing
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I played the shit out of Baldur's Gate 2 and Throne of Ball and everything else back in the day. Also, we Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition just came out a couple weeks ago, which I logged into.
The original one?
Yes, Neverwinter Nights 1, the Enhanced Edition, and I logged in for just a little bit. Let's just say there's been some improvements in UI design since Neverwinter Nights came out.
Can you still spin up your own like permanent realms and stuff like that?
I believe so. I hope to show it off on like UPF or something sometime soon. But let's just say it's one of those things where maybe that's not the spirit of the question, like games that I'm too old for, but maybe games that I've not even outgrown is the right word. Just like my life is in a different place from when I enjoyed this.
Oh, you can say games for babies.
What was the Jaffe game last year? Drawn to Death?
Yes.
Like I had a moment with that too, but that was more of a taste thing maybe
Yeah.
than a like I'm too old for this game.
I don't think that game had a lot of defenders though.
I think
Fair.
that game just missed the
Fair.
mark.
It's weird to bring it up because the stereotype of like classic CRPG games is that you're a little older and a little like have
Yeah.
more time for it. But this one is just
No, it turns out
No.
the older you get,
Turns
the
out
more,
not.
the more drags on your time that exists.
I love them to death. Love Baldur's Gate 2. I'm sure all these games that I'm talking about, I would have a great time if I actually got to the end. But at some point, I just run out of steam, and I feel bad.
All right. Jacob from Portland, Oregon. Question 1. Given that God of War sold about 3.1 million copies in its first 3 days, and 3.6% of people have killed all 51 ravens, that means that over 100,000 people have killed around 6 million ravens. Why? Is it for the Platinum Trophy? Who cares about a fucking trophy? It's not like it's fun to backtrack through all of Midgard looking for hidden green bird ghosts to poof with your axe. It's not even satisfying.
It's kind of fun.
Question 2. Why did I spend 3 hours following internet guides to kill all the ravens and unlock the Platinum Trophy?
Because you like
I'm
the
a-
game.
I'm a grown-ass
So that means
man. I
you
have a
spent-
career. I have a wife. Do I hate myself? Is this what I have become?
300,000 hours wasted. That's like a half a life, basically.
Kind of one of my issues of the game is seeing stuff that I know is an unlockable or something collectible and not being able to figure out how to get to it and knowing I'll have to come back for it later.
That game has a lot of that.
And that is, I mean, I go through.
Doesn't have a lot. Like compared to other Metroidvania style games, it doesn't have a lot of it. I would say.
Well, when I
34
play,
person years.
I mean,
when
they do tease
they do.
certain mechanics
Yeah.
But
pretty
I've
early
seen-
on that you
yes.
can't deal with.
You know, I've seen those roots you're supposed to be
yeah,
able
the
to
brambles and
the
like
brambles.
the green orbs.
But I've seen
and-
those and I don't know how to get my axe to them, and I get frustrated because I know I'll have to. I want to be able to. It's not like in Uncharted when you're going through and you find little treasures and shit. If I see that I've missed 8, I don't give a shit. But here it's more like I can see it and I can't do it. There's some ravens that fly above the lake, and I know you can't fly fling your axe from the thing, so you have to find a place, and I cannot find a place to do it from. That kind of stuff annoys me in those kind of games.
The only thing that bugs me there is not knowing if I can do it at
Yes,
that moment or not.
yes, that's kind of
as
more-
long as they make it clear, like,
Yeah.
hey, you shouldn't try to do this
Because like
because
with the
you're not
bramble
equipped.
stuff, Atreus will be like, "Oh, I don't think
Yeah,
we can get
yeah,
past
that stuff
But
I was
like
totally
birds,
fine
yeah,
with.
Totally.
But yeah, some of those high ravens.
The God of War, I haven't played God of War, but like if they label like the Tomb Raider games did a good job of labeling the map with things that you would spot but couldn't do yet.
Oh, like a little X or
like
something.
like there'd be an icon there that's like this is a tomb, so hey, there's brambles in front of this tomb. I can't knock the
Yeah,
brambles down yet,
yeah.
but I know to come back to this one later, so I
When
don't
I
have to go to
make
all
fire.
55 of them.
Yeah, I think it comes the biggest issue kind of that meets your point is that the map doesn't show any of this.
Yeah.
The map is bad. First of all, it's like probably the worst part of that game. But
it's not great.
They don't mark anything on it. You can't mark anything on it.
yeah.
Why bother?
But I mean, to answer that guy's question, the reason you're doing it is because you really enjoy the game, and it's the same reason like Vinny completed it and Dan was on it, Quest completed it, and I like considered it. It's just like I love this world. I like the combat. I like the way it's so simple that I just like the way the axe throws and comes back.
I disagree with the premise of the email. I think hitting the ravens is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well,
honestly.
so like, not having played the Ravens bit, but like I got all the orbs in Crackdown, right? I feel like a lot of times I do that stuff because I want to. Like, there's good reasons. The good reason to do it is because you want to spend more time in that world, and the bad reason to do it is because you want to get the achievement and get the platinum trophy, right?
Why can't it be both?
Well, look, there's compulsions are medical conditions, Brad. You should talk to your healthcare professional and
About gaming.
about your gaming compulsions.
I only have one platinum medal on all the games I played on the PS4, and I forget what game. I was actually looking through my
Firewatch.
trophies the other day. It wasn't a Naruto game. It was something obviously very simple because I'm not an achievement. I'm gonna sneeze and I apologize. You guys,
Brace yourselves.
like, I don't know.
my body didn't want to.
Wow.
Of course.
Bless
Man,
you.
Jan muted
Matt
you and
Roy.
everything.
I had you muted and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I never got the achievement compulsion thing,
Yeah.
but I do like collectibles.
If they're a fun challenge.
Don't like about achievements sometimes is when you know what, I was talking with somebody, tweeted about a Kindle thing and why most of my stuff is on Kindle. He's like, oh, never replace the feel of a book in your hands. I was like, the reason I like the Kindle, you can turn off the progression bar at the bottom, so you have no idea how far along in the book you are, so you don't get You know, sometimes you see that last like 10% of a book, and you know
Yeah.
it's swelling up to something. I'd rather be kind of surprised and
Come
let
in
the story
cold.
go where it is.
I'm the complete opposite. I hate that most ebooks don't seem to have page numbers anymore. They use location, which
Most
is
new-
like,
Kindle
what?
does.
Most new Kindle
Yeah.
books do.
Do they?
They changed that a couple years ago. They do have
Yeah.
page numbers.
Oh, okay. A bunch of the ones I have gotten recently.
Yeah,
did not.
this was a couple years ago. Anything before that is probably just going to have location. But
Yeah,
I turn that shit
numbers.
off because I want to be surprised when the ending comes, and hopefully it's a natural swell.
Yeah.
But the same thing with achievements. Like if I sometimes I can't help but look at the achievement list and know exactly how far down a game I am because it'll say chapter 1 through 10 or whatever.
Well, it's
can't
funny.
beat that.
Like I've been going through Mario Odyssey to get the last few stars, and like they did such a good job with so many of those where they're hidden and they kind of surprise and delight you every time you find one. And then you get to the point where you just have to go to the fucking stores and spend a shitload of gold to buy them. And it's just like this is lame.
Yeah,
Like why bother putting these in here to pad out the number? Why are these here at all?
totally.
I mean, I guess they're there so that if you get stuck and you need to buy some stars to progress,
And you want to get to like
can.
darker side or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
but still, yeah.
I will say the thing I am a little frustrated about with God of War is knowing that I might be missing. Luckily for the real stuff that really matters, like the health upgrades, you know you're gonna see a chest, and you know I think there hasn't been a chest that I haven't been able to solve right away. That's the kind of stuff. As far as like unlockables, I didn't even think the ratings they don't do anything. They're just an achievement, right?
Yeah,
I think you get a little
or you get a little
XP
experience.
Okay.
for each one.
I should probably play that, huh?
It's good.
Pretty
It's
good.
really good.
Okay.
I wish I had
You
more
should-
time for it because I just got to the Arlheim or whatever the first like world is, and I
If you want to keep up with the conversation, I recommend
probably
playing God
okay.
of War.
You should just go listen to our spoiler cast that you can find on the Giant Bomb Presents feed, and then you don't even have to play it.
Interesting. That sounds great.
All right, next email. James in Birmingham, England. After realizing that Brad Muir is a project lead on the upcoming Valve card game Artifact, do you guys think there's a possibility that he could be the face for the product, besides the obvious Richard Garfield, in regards to providing updates over the life of the game in the same way that Ben Brode
Kaplan?
did for Hearthstone? I feel he has the enthusiasm and charm to pull it off.
I would love that if he became a Jeff Kaplan. or
Brad Muir is the face of Artifact. He's the
the big
community figure.
smiling face
Garfield's-
of Artifact.
I think that's such a double-edged sword, though. I feel like
Yeah.
there's another side that comes to being
I wouldn't
that,
wish that on somebody that I like.
especially
but-
for a competitive card game.
don't know if Magic was before the internet. I mean, Magic started what 95. I was in high school 92. I
Yeah.
think 91,
Yeah.
91, 92 something.
was when I was in
well
high school
before
still.
the internet was on video. I don't know if Garfield. I don't think I've actually ever seen a video of Richard Garfield doing anything. So I'm not sure if he's even going to be in the movie.
Valve likes their secretive game
Yeah.
designers.
Hold on, did Valve hire Richard Garfield?
Yeah,
to do
he's
that?
he's
yes.
doing
Oh,
Artifact.
fuck me, I
yeah,
didn't know that.
like he is
I was
making
like, they're
Artifact.
serious about this shit. They're gonna do it right.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of Brad Muir about that.
I wonder if he still has the puka shells.
Brad or Richard?
Brad.
Does
Remember
he have
that
the puka
video
shells?
of his?
Oh yeah,
Remember
his
he's
ska
oh.
band. He thought, yeah.
What game? What was the
Oh,
game?
yes, of
Yeah.
course. Right.
I think you'd have to get the puka shells out if he's going to be the the face man.
You might be right.
I'll be curious to
And a
see what they do.
saxophone.
Yeah.
Now
They
we're talking.
that's been in beta for a while, right? Like
No.
some people-
No,
oh,
it-
no, it's not
they've
available yet.
gone around and shown it off to some
Okay.
press.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not.
no release date at all.
It
when
is.
it's done.
Didn't they say
They
this
said
year?
This year.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of like I never got into Hearthstone just because mechanically it's more complex than I want, kind of. But like Slay the Spire, I've been playing that, and I like that kind of deck building game
Yes.
on
Well,
computer.
Have you seen any of Artifact? Because it's not one lane. It's 2 lanes like that Lord of the Rings game. It's 3 lanes now. So that
that seems like
a-
one, two.
It is like
lanes.
a Dota. It is like a Dota map in which there are 3 lanes.
I'm
back
curious
out.
about it, but
Never mind.
Richard Garfield is there's Magic the Gathering was an amazing idea at the right time, shall we say? I'm
And
curious.
the-
if he
That
like,
has-
sounds like
original
Netrunner
Netrunner.
almost.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like that. I wish somebody would just make a good Netrunner game.
I love that.
I mean, you can do it on Tabletop Sim, I think.
Was that a joke? Or are there actually
No,
good
there's a
Netrunner
game
games?
called Tabletop Simulator where you can load up.
No,
like,
but I mean about Netrunner. Are
There's a
there
card
actually
game, Netrunner.
are there actually not a lot of are there not good Netrunner games?
there are a lot of Netrunner board games that are dope.
No, I mean like
but I
video,
don't
like,
think there's ever. I've never
that's
played
what
a
I was
Netrunner
asking. I was
board
asking if
video
that
game.
was a joke.
Yeah,
I just
no.
assumed
There's a game
because it's so
called
popular.
Black
I
Ice,
assumed there must be.
that is inspired
that's
by
not-
Netrunner, but it's a shooter.
But there's like not a port of the board game.
That's
or
what
the
I was
card
asking.
game
Oh, I
to-
just assumed that existed.
No, it's
No.
it's super weird.
Huh.
Like there's so many amazing board games that there are not necessarily like digital versions of.
And trust me, we get people asking to add them to the wiki all the time. We have to tell them we don't do board games.
Well, like Seven Wonders, which is one of the all-time great German board games, just came out in a digital form last year, maybe like end of last year, and it's not a great port.
The logic for that stuff is, I mean, because Magic the
it's
Gathering
hard.
Online had every expansion had new rules, and they had to go back and test the interplay with every card that came before, and it was always a nightmare.
Yeah, and
which is why the expansions were always like a year later.
Yeah, I mean, like I understand why people don't do it.
Sure.
But
it's a living card game. They want people to buy the data packs every
Yeah.
month and
Yeah.
get that way. But
Anybody play Arena, the new MT Magic the Gathering Arena thing?
Oh.
I haven't. I've been seeing it kind of pop up as that's definitely in beta. I'm curious to try it because they made those Magic the Gathering like 2015, 2012, and those were always like okay, but there wasn't a very full thing. You couldn't really build your deck very well and everything like that. So
No Black Orchids.
no, it wasn't Black Orchid. It's Black Lotus.
It's you've gotten the extent of my Magic the Gathering knowledge
There
right
you
there.
All right, Peter from Rochester, New York.
Hi, Peter.
What do you use to write stuff in the digital age? I find myself split between a myriad of apps and text file formats and haven't found a good cohesive way to store my notes. Do you keep it simple and just use built-in notes apps on your phone? Or do you opt for some fancier things that can capture web pages and images?
There's a moleskin for anything that I have to do.
Write things?
Yeah,
I've been writing things with a pen recently, and it's
In-
kind of nice.
in
It's
meetings.
satisfying.
It's good. I
Yeah.
can't take notes on my phone. I can probably type on my phone.
Yeah.
I switched to Swift Key not too long ago from the default, and Swift Key is kind of a piece of shit. I did not like it at all.
I liked it.
It found my
Are you
predict-
swiping?
Yeah, I was swiping. I found my
Yeah,
predictions to be
I have
off
a hard time
every
with
time.
swiping.
Is the replacement keyboard support on iOS better than it used to be?
Yes.
Is it?
They-
I
it-
use
it-
the
it-
Google. I use the Google keyboard on
terrible.
Oh yeah,
iOS.
it used to be
exists now.
almost impossible.
It used to be awful.
I didn't
use-
even know it was a thing now.
So I use the Google keyboard exclusively on iOS, except for it doesn't. It uses the default one.
Is that called
on
Gboard?
Gboard.
Yeah, that's great.
It's the same one as on Pixel X on the Pixel phones,
I
pretty
love
much.
that.
Yeah.
The only place it doesn't pop is on password fields.
I
You
used
get
to
the
just, I mean,
default
this was like
iOS one
years
there.
ago that it used to just like it would just not spawn the keyboard at all.
I haven't.
in a lot
I've
of
been using
cases.
it since I came back to iOS and
Yeah.
haven't had any problems.
But I use pen and paper in meetings for the most part, and then Google Docs for everything else.
I-
I don't bother with either Evernote or anything.
No.
like that.
I am using Simple Note at this very moment for the notes on this podcast.
Anytime I'm working on something that somebody else is going to look at, I use a Google Doc just because you share the link and it's easy and I can see the changes they've made and all that. And then the rest of the time, I use Evernote for recipes, which is really, really effective. You can it basically has like an Instapaper style grabber where you put a URL in and it just grabs all the stuff on the page and you get your recipe from the website.
You don't have to just scroll down past all the pictures
No,
and
it takes
fluffy
out all the ads and
SEO
bullshit. Yeah.
Is there like a markup for recipes and HTML standards or something?
There are micro formats I think for them. So yeah, I don't know if anybody actually uses them. And then I use the Field Notes notebooks.
Yeah,
Instead of
same
Moleskine.
thing.
Same
Moleskine,
things. Yeah.
People get really moleskins were like not around for a long time, and then they started putting them out, and now they're like stores that only sell moleskins.
They got
and
real
Yeah.
popular. Yeah.
They try to make it this lifestyle thing. Where if you're traveling, you need to have your.
Well, so I love reporters' notebooks that
Mhm.
fold over, but the Moleskine version of the reporter's notebook doesn't fold back over on
Yeah,
itself, which
it's
is
tough.
fucking stupid.
That's the point.
Yeah. Anyway.
Notebooks, pen and paper, paperless office is not going to work anytime soon.
I have a friend that records selfie videos of himself as his notes. He just
Okay.
reminds himself like, "Hey, blah blah blah, you got to do this today."
Hey,
Oh,
future
thanks.
self.
Yep.
What's
Check
up,
this out.
fam? Hey, how's it going? Starting my broadcast. Just want to give a quick shout out to my mom, and also I need to pick up some groceries.
I do the okay Google remind me to pick up groceries when I leave the house thing a lot.
Really?
Like that's like I
How
bought
does it know when you left the house? Does it like auto track you and it just
look
when you?
it knows.
Yeah, I bet.
But the okay Google hooks in with the Google app on your phone, so then you get the reminder when the Google app on your phone leaves the house, and it's like super good.
Wow.
It's really creepy, but also
I use OK Google just for like set alarm for an hour. That's all I use it for.
I also use it for calendar events because you can say, okay, Google, remind me. I have a 10:30 appointment on Tuesday to go Bombcast
That's handy.
at CBS Interactive, and then it puts the address in and everything, and Waze tells me when to leave.
I didn't read the article, but I saw the headline going around, I think yesterday, that people have basically found a way to like silently issue instructions to like Siri and Google Home and Alexa and
Oh,
stuff like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Like the commands are inaudible to the human ear, but they still pick them up and
Like,
process them.
Okay, Google, Venmo Will
Yeah,
Smith
like-
$20.
yeah. Yep.
Wow,
Like
great,
like frequencies
Terrific.
that you can't hear that they can still use to
Perfect.
control the yeah.
That was the ancient kind of like for computers that were totally disconnected from the net.
Yeah.
They had the internal speakers would pick up. I think it was some Israeli virus that they could do just as long as you could broadcast near the computer, it could pick it up over the speakers.
That reminds
Is
me.
that in
of-
Destroy all your
Cryptonomicon that you
computers.
could that they
No,
they
this is
could
real world, like 10 years ago even. I
the
remember.
thing in Cryptonomicon was based on real research that you could decode the VGA signal that was coming across the cable. I don't know, it was weird.
We were talking
Huh.
about games that you start for 2 hours and then you realize you have to go back.
Yeah.
Cryptonomicon has always been that book for me. Like, I've tried it 3 times.
Can't they do like
If you
fuzzy?
get past the first 2 chapters, it really goes fast.
I bet.
Yeah.
I think they
I'll
can.
know someday.
They can do like fuzzy physical surveillance by measuring like the Wi-Fi network disruptions, right?
They can tell like where people are
Yeah,
moving
they can
through
see
the,
people
through
moving
the, yeah.
around by measuring the
You
Wi-Fi
can
signal.
Sam Fisher that shit and
Yeah.
see through walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
The most advanced thing I ever saw was my friend whose ringtone or text tone was a frequency that his 16-year-old ears could pick up, but our 45-year-old teacher's ears could not pick up.
That's pretty good.
That's a big
Yeah.
30 rack joke.
Yeah, that's
And one
pretty
of
good.
those-
Is it?
That doesn't
Yeah.
actually work. That is entirely dependent upon biology. Some people,
Yes.
even though they're old, can still hear high frequencies.
It worked in our math class, and that's it.
Yeah, like I have mid-range hearing loss, so I can't hear middle frequencies very well,
Oh.
but I can still hear
What
highs fine.
Is there a good way to?
What if I talk like this? Can you
You
hear
go to the
me?
audiologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So there's a easy web test.
I'm sure there is, but I don't know if they're
Hey,
good or
Will,
not.
I'm here insulting you. Can you hear this?
Do you guys hear something? I don't hear anything.
It works, guys.
This is amazing.
Your mother.
Let's see.
That's a mid-range, right?
It's like I hear something whispering in my ear, but
How about Gary from Sydney, Australia? Just wondering what your favorite modern controller is and what alterations you'd make for it to be perfect in your eyes. Personally, I'd take the DualShock 4 and reduce the size of the trackpad, allowing for larger options and share buttons. I'd also want longer battery life.
I like the Elite a lot.
Yep,
I
it's
took
very
off
good.
I took off the paddles because I was always hitting them by accident. But after that, it's fantastic.
Do you like the stick that indent it goes in or goes out?
tall, medium, or large.
I like the short inwards indented
Kind of
with
like the dome.
Convex.
convex.
Yeah.
I like short convex.
I kind of like that one too.
I'm concave all the way.
Really?
I like those tall sticks. I like a lot of motion.
I think that the sticks on the Xbox One are too high for me. They don't feel
Well,
too
you're-
high
Actually,
and
my
narrow. I
my
think.
left thumb I do use a long one. My right thumb I use a shorter one.
yeah, that's what I did. I did a medium and a high for a long time.
Yeah.
I like
It's a
the
good
place. I like
controller.
I wish there was a elite version of the DualShock.
Yeah, people have been asking
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
God,
for
like
ages.
just because I like the dual. I wish the DualShock worked better on Windows,
Mhm.
and I wish there was a hey, we can change out the sticks and the D-pad.
I want it to be a little sturdier.
You
too.
can mod these sticks. People have sent it in before. You can totally put Xbox One sticks into a DualShock 4. Like they
Really?
fit. They fit.
Oh,
Yeah, unless revisions have changed, but people have
Collusion.
totally
huh.
sent in that you can pop that thing open and stick the other sticks in.
Interesting. I really like the DualShock. Like I wish the battery life was a little bit better on the
Yeah.
DualShock 4.
That's the biggest problem with it.
But-
I think the triggers feel a little bit flimsy and cheap.
So I have one of the second or third rev DualShock 4s that they shipped with the PS4 Pro. That's much better.
Yeah,
battery
I
life.
bought 2 new ones last fall because
Yeah.
my old ones were crappy.
Yeah, the right
but-
trigger on my launch one has conked out
Yeah,
finally,
like
so I need to replace
rubber had worn off the sticks on my old one and stuff. But
I've had a lot of problems with the Xbox One and even the Elite with those dongles.
the,
PC.
the
Yeah.
PC dongle.
Yeah, the PC
Oh,
dongle.
that thing works great for me.
It
I put
works very inconsistently, so I just keep it wired now.
It's funny, the dongle for the 360 would like work through walls and stuff for me, so I would like run an HDMI cable from my office into the living room to play PC games in the living room.
Yeah.
And the dongle, the Xbox One doesn't work through walls at all.
Here's what I did because I also run a long HDMI cable.
What do you
just
you
buy
run a long
USB
cable?
Buy USB extension cables and just zip tie them to the HDMI cable.
There
and
you
then
go.
when you run the HDMI, you're also running a cable for.
Yeah, I just had somebody sent me a tip a long time ago about Xbox or Windows 10 will turn off depower USB outlets on your PC if they're not used, and apparently turning that off really helped for a little bit. But then
Oh,
they-
for that particular
specific,
thing.
yeah. But
Okay.
now it just does not seem to want to work.
Huh.
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. just keep it
I
wired.
I don't know. I kind of wish, like the thing that I like the DualShock, but I don't like that the sticks are both low. I wish that I like the high
I love
stick
the
on the
sticks.
left and the low stick on the right.
I don't like the. I like my stick to be over here and my pad
I
to be
know
down
a lot of
here.
people don't like the 2 sticks in the
Yeah.
middle thing. I don't mind it.
I kind of miss the old like N64 Like let's let each prong be its best and not have to stretch with your
I
thumb.
don't know, man.
I feel like you could do like a DualShock controller on one side and then glue like another
This is
Xbox
disgusting.
One controller on the other side,
Oh.
so you have like whatever controller you need.
When's our Duke controller unboxing
I don't know.
stream?
I don't know. I thought that thing was supposed to be out by now.
I could have sworn it was out like last week. I don't think anybody bought it. So.
Huh?
I'll buy
Maybe.
Did they make a redo of the
Oh
Duke?
yeah, you didn't,
Yeah,
yeah. They're putting the
holy
Duke
shit,
back. Well,
dude.
not Microsoft, but some. Is it?
It wasn't officially licensed.
I'm not buying
thing.
any
It is
third-party
licensed,
controllers
but
ever
it's-
again.
Yeah.
I forget who's making it. Maybe Hori? I forget. One of
Hey,
those. One of the
Hey, watch your
companies-
language, sir.
One of the controller companies is making the Duke again.
Huh.
I think it's got like a little screen in it this time. and
It
stuff.
does, and it also has the bumpers and
I
the
just
black and
I
white.
don't know. Who
No
would want-
thanks.
Who would want that?
I don't know.
Like it was bad.
Eh.
It was well. Okay, so Ben has biological necessities.
Yes. It's the first time I played Halo, I just picked up that Duke. I said, "What are these black and white buttons? I don't know what any of this means." And then I it just felt so right.
There is an affection for that thing.
I wish my Elite controller was a Bluetooth controller, but I don't think I care enough to buy another
Yeah.
one. Is the downside?
Yeah. Let's see here.
I like that there's finally a good D-pad on that thing.
On
The Xbox One
yeah,
controllers.
yes, that 360 D-pad was a crime.
Ugh.
Eric from Chicago, Illinois. I'm composing this email from the comfort of a Wawa in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where I'm eating a breakfast burrito on the hood of my rental car. I don't live in Virginia, and I'm traveling to DC for work. I find that the only time I eat Wawa or Sheets is when I'm traveling, either flying or during a long-distance car ride. When in Virginia to visit family, I find myself at a Cracker Barrel or a Hardee's.
Cracker Barrel.
I do not have cravings for these places when I'm back home in Chicago. Is there an establishment that you only frequent when you're out of town or traveling?
You and I have both been to a Cracker Barrel in our lifetimes.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
all the time.
Hell,
Holy
when a
shit.
Cracker Barrel
Growing
opened in
up.
So
Bristol.
you want 8,000 calories and you need it now. That's where you go.
And then you want to sit in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen
you
to old
need
people
to sit
talk.
in a rocking chair after you eat
Yes,
8,000
you
calories.
really don't have a choice.
And you can get
Cracker
some rock candy too.
when
old
I go,
timey.
when I go to Southern California, I always make time for Wahoo's fish tacos because they have an amazing
those
pig
are-
bowl, Kahlua bowls. It's the one thing I wish we had up here. But apart from that, like the regional variations between fast food, like it's just Wahoo's for me. That's the only thing I think about.
When I go home, I always stop at a Bojangles and a Crystal.
Yeah. It's Bojangles and
Crystal has really
Chick-fil-A
good
for me.
We have
Milkshakes,
Chick-fil-A
right?
here now.
Not close enough. Maybe for you.
There's one in like Vallejo.
That's still pretty far.
It's one in
Okay.
Rohnert Park now.
If you
That's
live
a bit like that might as well be in the surface of the moon.
if you
Ben.
live in a city without a car, that's not
okay,
accessible.
fair. I'll stop at a Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Like, I like a Shake Shack.
crinkle fries.
Get this crinkle. Everybody says get the smash burger, and they're good, but those fried chicken sandwiches are pretty
Yes,
notably good.
Where are those?
New York, Austin, LA. There's
Oh,
one in
oh,
Terminal
oh,
2
Shake
in
Shack,
LA
right,
now.
right, yes.
There's
Like
one
the-
opening up here.
Is
Three.
there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think one in the Marina, one in Marin,
Huh.
and then another one in Palo Alto. I think.
Ooh.
For the rich people, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll always hit Momofuku
Oh, so
when
people
I
who
go to
live
New
here.
York.
I had to drive, dude. I had to drive to the South Bay 3 times late last week, and I
Ooh.
cannot count how many like Teslas and McLarens and Aston
yeah.
Martins and like just holy shit,
Yeah.
millions of dollars worth of cars on the road everywhere you go,
Just commuting up and down 280.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going back to DC in July, I think, and what my memory from the last time I went was it was either late at night or really early in the morning, and I went to McDonald's to just went to drive through because I was hungry, and my entire thing came out for like $5. And here, if I want to get anything, it's like you can't walk out of a McDonald's without like $13 going
Yeah.
through. So, even the fast food here is expensive.
The other thing that's open here that used to be a New York only thing is the Halal Guys. Have you been there yet?
Oh no.
Place is real good.
I keep meaning to.
It's kind of in the between the Tendy and Union Square, and it is a delight.
Yeah, that
This
one's
is the
not.
tendy. Nobody's
Tendy.
ever called the tenderloin
The
the
tender
tendy
knob.
before.
Yeah, you didn't call it the Tendy?
Nobody calls
I
it the
used to call it
tendy.
the Tendy when I lived there.
Do you know
I
why they
call
call it the
tendies-
tenderloin?
No.
It's because the cops who
Yeah.
were originally assigned to work the beat got paid more because it was so dangerous that they could afford
Wow,
the tender
really?
cuts.
Huh. Interesting.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
No.
Tendy.
I hear a
If I'm-
couple. I thought it was the
If I'm
Lord.
yelling at my mom to make me
Well,
food,
look-
I say the word tendy, and that's about the only time it ever comes out of my mouth.
How often do you yell at
Oh
your mom?
yeah,
for food?
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
I'm going back in July. Tendies.
Fond of chocolate milk, huh?
Go to Halal Guys, boys.
Okay. All right.
They take order ahead. Just letting you know.
What's that?
They take order ahead. Just letting
Oh,
you know.
really?
What is
Yeah.
that?
What is order head?
You order ahead, pick it up.
Oh, I thought it was like some app.
Some
Ah,
new
dude, I
meal
I
pass.
There
immediately
totally
assumed
is
that
an
was a
app.
startup.
Yep, you got your meal pass. You just pay him $5 a month, and you get 3 meals a day.
Yep. Okay. Last email. You can call me Guy from Philly or something.
Call me Ishmael.
He said, please don't read my name. This is in
okay.
regards to last week's stories about people going to great lengths to pass a drug test.
Oh no.
Oh, thank God there's just one piss email.
Dude, this one is questionable. There was one that was fucking 1,000 times worse than this. Like, I
What?
was actually,
Last week was piss week.
I heard.
yeah.
I finally fucking caught up on the Bombcast after your Christmas
A
bullshit.
lot of talk about
and
synthetic
what do I
urine.
get? A week full of piss.
Dude, like there were a couple.
I'm-
There was one email in particular this week that like I wish I could scrub that image from my head.
Oh,
We're
it was
not-
worse than the
we're
I
not-
punctured the condom and it
yes.
spilled all over the floor of the bathroom.
Way
and,
worse.
And oh,
Okay, this one's not so bad. I just want to put it out there that it wasn't too awkward to have been asked by my roommate in college to pee in a bottle, so he could still keep smoking weed while on probation. I was watching TV while he was rolling one of his foot-long joints when he looked at me and basically just said, "Oh yeah, could you piss in a bottle for me? Got to start taking drug tests next week."
Do they let you show up with a pee bottle?
Well, we got
look,
the
it's
whole
been
thing.
covered.
Listen to
It's-
last
it's
week's.
been covered.
There
There
are
are-
devices.
there are techniques.
Okay.
Don't
Uh,
use a condom, or
after-
if you do, bring an appropriate poking device.
After laughing at the absurdity of the question, I just kind of shrugged and told him I would do it. That bottle lasted all through his probation, so he never had to ask me again. He would just kind of thank me every once in a while if he wasn't too high.
This sounds like a bad roommate. I'm gonna like. I haven't had a roommate in a long time, but that sounds like a fucking bad roommate.
Where did you keep that?
In the fridge.
What?
Yeah.
Honestly, stoners are probably not the worst roommates in the
No,
world.
I've had worse roommates
Whatever.
than stoners.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
What is the shortest probation you could conceivably have?
6 months.
A bottle of
3
pee in
months.
your fridge for 6 months?
You don't want it to be cold though. Like they're
No, yes.
You
no.
gotta warm it
Again-
up
Again,
before-
again, there
yeah.
are techniques available
behind
to
your
you.
mind.
There are products that we could introduce you to.
Welcome to Giant Bomb's new premium show, Piss Talk, featuring
yeah.
Ben and Jeff.
I think I
It's on right after the Bombcast every
There were
week.
there were
keep
there were
listening.
emails about the business of synthetic urine this week.
My new
Whatever.
favorite, I've told the story before, but the new way to do it is to get fingernail clippings because drugs will go into the veins under your fingernails and it'll last up to 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So if
Huh.
they clip your fingernails and send those all, it's all big. It's only like legal court case kind of stuff if they need to make sure that you were fucked up.
Hardcore.
Yeah, or
drug
if you
testing.
crash something, but that's
Well,
what they
I
do.
accidentally pulled all my toenails and fingernails
Yeah.
out.
It's really weird.
I was real high. I mean, oh shit.
Take that, coppers.
Yeah, apparently the veins go right into your fingernails, and that'll last until they grow entirely out. So
Gross.
if you're doing drugs and want to get a new job in the government, apparently they really will
Well, the thing
go
I,
to lengths.
so the thing I always heard about government jobs was that they like if you have to do a lie detector and they ask you if you ever used illegal drugs, they're more concerned with you telling the truth about using illegal drugs than lying and saying you didn't use illegal drugs.
It's a great Mr. Show sketch
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Look it up, Mr. Show.
I had a
lie
friend who
detector.
failed his NSA polygraph 4 times because they asked him if he had ever stolen anything. He shoplifted something when he was 6 years old, and he would get nervous about it every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
He
they,
ended up-
and they let him keep taking it?
no, he didn't get a clearance and had to go get another job for the IRS or something. I can't
Huh.
remember.
Wait, but how did he take it 4 times?
You get multiple shots.
That's what I meant. I'm
I
surprised.
think,
I'm
I think it's
surprised you
after
didn't
the
get
third.
more
May have
than
been after
one.
the third. May have been the third time that was the.
I figured
if you fail
I
this,
figured
then you
something
can
like
never go back
NSA, it
again.
was like 1 strike and you're out.
No, they
No?
computer program. Probably now post Snowden, I would guess probably
Sure.
things have changed a little.
Well, they already
world-
know everything about you. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also
that's
that.
true. They just look at
That's-
your phone.
Yes, indeed. All right, that's it for P emails. P
emails.
Are you
Don't
closing the door on the P
say-
emails?
for this week. Who knows
Okay.
Who knows what the future may
Who
bring?
knows, might what trickle in.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna have
there
a
could be a stream of
piss consultant
Yeah,
on the couch at E3 this
yeah,
year.
Yeah, we could be flooded next week. Who knows?
We gotta let these emails mellow.
Yep, that's right.
Is this the first E3 that weed's going to be legal in California? You're gonna have a lot of
Yeah.
developers coming in
Yes.
from outside
Yes.
the state.
Oh boy.
Because
gonna be a
obviously
whole new-
there was no way anybody could have been high at an E3 before.
No, nobody's ever hired E3.
Yeah, definitely
Serious work.
Now it's legal, so watch out.
Now
I just-
everyone's high.
Yeah.
Bombcast at giantbomb.com. That's it for emails. What's new in Foo Land, Will?
I think since the last time I was here, we've released 2 episodes.
Yep.
We released one a few months ago, a month and a half ago, that's about making nanomachines with DNA.
Cool.
pretty cool. Yeah. We do a powers of 10 thing. We start out in the scientist lab at UC, and then we shrink down, and we end up between the lipid layers of an E. coli cell, where we can see how phages are used to create structured DNA to build machines out of the DNA. It was very cool. Yeah. And just yesterday, we released an episode where we go into Adam Savage's cave.
Oh, right. Your TV friend, yes.
Yes, my TV friend, Adam Savage. He's also from Tested.com, a site that I used to work on.
Yes.
And
it was like his workshop?
Yeah, well, we didn't make his shop because his shop is a fucking nightmare. It's like he's got stuff hanging everywhere. It is the most visually cacophonous space I've ever been in.
Jay's just shaking his head.
Jay's been there.
I remember I had to his chicken video, the squawking.
Oh, the duck bomb?
The duck bomb, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to go get those from his workshop, and I didn't know where the light switches were. And of course, a bunch of them were on the floor. Which, Yep.
And like the first at that time when you walked in, probably the first thing you would see is like a life-size casting of Sue, the Tyrannosaurus Rex from the Chicago Museum of Natural History's head.
That must be a big room.
It's an old garage.
Oh, it's just the head.
It's just the head.
Oh, not the full body.
But it's still a big room. Like it's a garage in the mission someplace.
That sounds cool. Yeah, I would like to virtually walk around in that.
Yeah. So we scanned a bunch of his props, laser scanned and photogrammetried a bunch of his props.
That sounds cool.
Like we have like his Captain America shield and Blade Runner gun and.
Can you pick that stuff up and move it around?
So you can pick it up and look at it just like in all the
Okay.
other Foo Show episodes. Wow. We talk about making props and we talk about the process of scanning and how that works a little bit too.
I want to check that out.
It's a good episode.
It's
out now. You can get it. It's on sale for the next 4, 5, 6 days, and then it'll be back to full price.
Cool, excellent. Once
Speaking
again,
of sales.
once again, premium sale is on.
Yes, for another week or so till the 23rd. End of the day. Yeah, it's
$35.
Giant Bomb Premium.
Yeah.
A lot of premium videos. If you're on the Bombcast, if you're seeing this on YouTube, then yes, we have a whole bunch of stuff on the site that you've probably never even seen. So
and a lot of stuff in the pipe.
In the
that I'm
pipe,
really excited about.
streams coming up this week.
All
UPF
kinds of
every
stuff.
Friday.
You guys rate fighting games with science?
Yeah,
that's a premium thing, right?
We've been cooking that up. Yeah, we're going strong every other week, twice a month.
Its results are too hot to go mainstream.
Several times a year.
Are
I was
there-
trying to do quick math and I couldn't.
Are there
'cause
premium
I was
pod?
thinking
It's 26 times a year if it's every other week.
The premium podcast reads too. So
Yeah.
with the
You don't have to listen to the ads.
like I said, I'm going to be putting up a bunch of previously premium stuff on YouTube this week, so look out for that.
Yeah.
Or I'll probably unlock it on the site too. Check our Twitter feed.
GiantBomb.com/upgrade.
And support at giantbomb.com if you have any issues with anything.
Yep.
I'm just a tiniest bit behind right now, but I'm trying to catch up by the end of the day.
I also play PUBG with some friends pretty much every night.
Okay.
If you want to check that out on my
I wanna
Twitch
play with
page. I'm not
you
that Will
some
Smith.
night.
I'll play. Come. We'll
Wait,
play up.
Which Will Smith are you?
I'm twitch.tv/not that Will Smith.
Wait, which one?
Not that Will Smith.
Which one are you?
I'm not that one.
Who?
Not that Will Smith.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
We have to get out of here. This makes no sense. Thank you for being here, Will Smith.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys. Always a
this has
pleasure.
Been the Giant Bombcast. We'll have more stuff coming up on the site throughout the week, and we'll see you back here for another podcast next time.